Trump saying moments ago he'll have a decision soon on whether to stay in the Paris Climate Accord.
I'm hearing from a lot of people. Both ways. Both ways, believe me.
The debate heating up again in the meantime. Fox's Jared Halpern is live at the White House.
As sources have told Fox News the president is expected to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement, though no final decision has been made. Press Secretary Sean Spicer says President Trump has heard a lot of opinions.
He consulted with foreign leaders, but he's talked to industry leaders. He's had a lot of input, and ultimately he'll make the decision.
Nearly 200 countries, including the U.S. and China, have signed on to the Climate Change Accord, vowing a sharp reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. As a candidate, President Trump promised to back away from the deal. Lisa.
Jared, the president's comments coming in an Oval Office meeting with the Prime Minister of Vietnam. One fired top official, Michael Flynn, now plans to turn over some documents in the Russia probe.
A source close to the former National Security Advisor says he will provide records under subpoena to the Senate Intelligence Committee, adding that the committee recently narrowed its request and Flynn is now able to work with the committee without sacrificing his Fifth Amendment protections. There are also subpoenas for Flynn's business records, which experts say do not have the same protections as personal records.
Fox's Catherine Herridge. Meantime, the Wall Street Journal reporting that fired FBI Chief James Comey plans to testify in public that the president did ask him to drop the Flynn investigation, which the White House has denied. At the closing bell, the Dow down 23 points, dipping back under 21K during the session, but finishing right around 21,005. The mayor of Hartford, Connecticut, says he thinks Aetna will move its headquarters out of the city. Aetna hasn't publicly commented on reports of talks with other cities, including New York and Boston. The insurance giant has about 6,000 workers in Connecticut. Fair and balanced.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
A California city known for more liberal thinking is considering a new ban on plastics.
They've already banned plastic bags in Berkeley, California. Now they're considering outlawing plastic straws in drinks.
We do need to change our habits. The habits that we have are destroying our planet.
City Council member Sophie Hahn is co-sponsoring the ordinance introduced Tuesday night with Ben Bartlett.
It's good for the fish, which we eat, and it's good for the children who are exposed to the BPEs and the plastic.
There are corn or bamboo-based alternatives, but they can cost 8 times as much as plastic straws, so Cal student Sean Patel says
this would just end up hurting businesses rather than actually making a big environmental impact.
Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Protests both for and against Confederate monuments continue.
Take it down! Take it down!
Chanting at a park in St. Louis where the mayor is working on a plan to move a monument into storage. But in Brandenburg, Kentucky, where a Confederate soldier statue was moved away from the University of Louisville, some are protesting the new location at a riverfront park. The Brandenburg mayor saying that monument is meant as a memorial to Confederate veterans. A popular spot for a photo with a statue is shut down for a while in Philly.
Rocky Balboa is the most famous fictional character from Philadelphia. There's a statue of him near the Philadelphia Art Museum where Rocky runs up the steps in those movies. A lot of tourists take pictures of or with the statue, but for now it's off limits for 2 weeks while the city's Parks and Recreation Department does some repaving and other work. The same thing happened at the end of April while crews took down a temporary stage used for the NFL draft. The statue was a prop for Rocky III, donated to the city in real life by Sylvester Stallone. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Again, stocks finish lower on the last day of May. Oil drops under $49 a barrel. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. It's been 6 days since I've been here. I just realized
really?
Because I was up at the golf course Friday doing the show, which was great.
Oh, that's right.
And then Memorial Day, and then yesterday I was up at the golf course again. You guys covered for me, and I appreciate it.
How do you feel sitting back in the seat?
It's strange, but hey, it's like riding a bike.
Did exactly right.
Tonight, clear, low of 52. Thursday, mostly sunny, high 79, low of 58. Friday, mostly sunny, high 83, low of 67. It's summer, folks. Right now, sunny, clear, 78 perfect degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
It's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lonte, Jeremy Warner. There's just one, and it's really, really shallow. One good thing about today, I saved about $100 on gas.
I thought you were going to say on insurance.
No, that's still the same. I was going to drive up to Sugar Grove.
You don't want me to mention that company?
No.
Damn gecko.
No, yeah, don't mention them, that stinking lizard or whatever he is.
You saved some money, but
I did.
It would have been worth it.
It would have been, easily one of the best $100 I would have ever spent.
So Lon comes in here and goes, I'm not even going to watch the NCAA championships.
I can't. It's not that I'm bitter or mad. I feel
that one hurt
so
for you.
bad. It did.
I mean, they really weren't even in it.
No.
In that semifinal yesterday, we're talking about Illinois golf, of course, falling in the Final Four for the third straight year and the fourth year out of 5 that they've gone to the Final Four. But, of course, they were runner-up in 2013. Yeah, it stinks to get there every year and not be able to win it.
It does.
But to get there as many times as they've gotten there
Unbelievable.
is still a heck of an accomplishment, especially given we kept asking the question, is this a rebuilding year? Is this a rebuilding year? And everyone's talking about that. And you and I, even from the get-go, I think we were talking with Mike last summer. Mm-hmm. And we said, I said, Mike, I don't think it's a rebuilding year because you get Meyer and Hardy back. You got top 20 recruits coming into this thing. Eduardo Liparelli ended his freshman year really well, his redshirt freshman year. And here we go. I mean, the team, their expectations from the outside might have changed, but kudos to those guys. Their expectations never changed.
It's unreal. And you sit here, and again, this is all, I mean, it's personal for me because I just want this national title like every Illini fan. But I honestly, because we know Coach Small so well, and because we've gotten to know these kids so well, especially Dylan Meyer and Nick Hardy, who are probably two athletes at Illinois that I've gotten to know as well as any athlete at Illinois. And I pull for those kids so hard. And I know that they're achieving success. And I know it's something that when they look back, and they've still got another year to do some unbelievable things, but I just don't want them to look back and
not have that. But if they look back on it and they have 4 match plays at the end of there, 4 Final Fours?
Not many do that.
No, I mean, they'd have the greatest careers of a team. Individuals on a team at Illinois ever, right?
I think you're probably right. I mean, without going through
they might already have it.
Exactly.
Besides the national championship, that's the one thing missing for those two, and for Mike Small. But I mean, what a run it's been.
Yeah,
and it's not ending anytime soon. So yes, it hurts to get there year after year. But I mean, I'll say this: maybe you're invested in it a little bit more than most fans because we do talk about them. We've tried the last couple years, actually the entire time we've done this show, to give as much Illini golf talk as possible because they deserve it.
Yes, they do.
You know, Mike Small messaged us and said, "Hey guys, thanks for doing the show."
So nice,
Coach. You deserve it.
You're right.
And Jenny thanked us today for the coverage. She's like, "This is fun. It's fun to cover a winner. It's a nice change of pace around here."
Amen. Isn't that the truth?
But they deserve this kind of coverage,
yes,
and hopefully we've gotten more Illini fans to realize what this program is. Not that we play any role, but maybe us talking about, hey, maybe I should go up there.
Yes,
maybe I should go up to Rich Harvest Farms and watch them this weekend because it was a lot of fun.
It was
cool seeing it up close. Seeing a team that we talk about all the time, but we're just seeing stats. We're just seeing, the scorecards. That's all we're seeing. So to see these guys in action, for people to finally see a lot of Dylan Meyer, and how fun he is. Liparelli's a lot of fun out there on the course. It's an easy team to root for, not just because they're winning, but I mean, we had them on the show. They're fun kids.
They're awesome kids.
They seem like great kids.
Yep.
And that's, of course, a kudos to Mike Small.
I loved your article today at IlliniInquirer.com.
Where's that?
Oh.
There it is.
No, it's caught on something. Man, that was a bad Let me start over. I loved your article today on IlliniInquirer.com. Yes, there we go. And you know what you talked about, you talked about Meyer and Hardy. And Meyer is that guy that has that fire. He's I thought of the old snowmobile in the day, the old Spitfire. He's got it.
I wrote he looks like a future accountant.
He does.
But he's intense.
He's very intense.
He's fun. He's funny. He's got this alter ego, basically, of DJ Funk.
Right.
He's bespectacled, and
I love it.
He's got the visor look, which nobody's rocking anymore, but I love that he is. It's great.
There are so many things, like with athletes, and not that I try to identify myself with athletes, but a guy like Dylan Meyer, I can identify with. You know, he's not overly muscular. I'm not overly muscular. He's not 6'8". I'm not 6'8". Yeah, I am taller than him.
Dylan Meyer and 20-year-old Lon had a little bit in common.
A lot in common. I mean, to a T, minus the glasses. Yeah. In fact, Karp even took it a step further and said, if that was Lucas, like if Lucas walked up with a visor on and glasses, I could almost misplace them. You know, and it's just one of those situations where you identify.
So what you're saying is.
Lucas better be playing at this level. No, I'm kidding.
Dylan and is there a long lost connection there?
No, because I talked to his father for so long, and his dad looks like identical to him. Absolutely identical.
Just clearing that up.
Yeah, let's clear that one up. But and then you talked about Nick Hardy, how he's got the poise. He's almost like a Mike Small clone.
He is. He's an absolute clone.
And and Nick Hardy's that guy. And this is, there's so many funny small things that happen, and we are so privileged, you and I, to get to know these kids, right? Unlike the average fan who maybe doesn't get a chance to talk to them all the time, even though Hardy, I'm sure with all the fans is great, but the day was Sunday on 18, ends up being his worst hole of the whole tournament. He takes an 8. But he tees off, and Lucas and I are standing there, and we walk by him, and he kind of gives me this look. It was just this kind of smile like, what's up? You know, and what I mean by that is the poise that he has in one of the biggest moments of his life. Yeah. That's what separates great athletes.
Yeah, we're sitting there, getting the media lunch before they're about to go on this huge round on Friday, and Liparelli comes up to me and goes, "Hey, man, what's up? How you doing?"
He's the most he
wants
talks
to
everybody.
Shake my hand. He wants to come up to me. Tadioto did the same thing.
It's awesome.
These kids appreciate it, and they're loving what they're doing, and they should.
They do. You really do.
Moments of their life that they're going to look back on forever.
And there's no doubt. And then I start thinking, so last night, I'm going to bed, actually, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, the future of Illinois golf is this is why we do Tay's Take. Yeah. Like what goes through Lon's mind. So I'm sitting there thinking, all right, they're going to lose Liparelli. He's going to go pro, and great for him. I cannot wait to watch him.
Yeah, I hope. I haven't heard it.
Well, yeah, it's nothing official.
If people are doubting it, we'll talk to Mike about it. Mike talked about it already. Okay, so it's going to happen. Liparelli's going to go pro. And he's going back over to Italy to play for their national team.
Awesome.
And he's going to line himself up for a shot at making the Ryder Cup team.
And then I got to hate him. Then I've got to hate him like Thomas Peter just for a weekend. That's all.
I will never fault a kid who is talented, who can go make money.
Amen.
Right?
Myers Leonard.
I will never fault him for doing that. Nope. Thomas Peters did it, worked out pretty well for him.
Yes, it did.
Now, Liparelli's not an NCAA champion, but I think he proved himself as a top 100 golfer in the country at the end of the season. And he had a really good tournament until the final round. And I mean, he should. I mean, if you have the chance, if the opportunity right now is for you to make money, play pro, and possibly get a chance at a Ryder Cup, go for it.
Absolutely.
Now, for Illinois, it stinks because if they got him back, I mean, Hardy and Meyer are going to be top 10 golfers in the country next year.
Yes.
I think I was looking up some of the teams that have top 15 golfers now. I think Texas is the only other team with 2 top 15 golfers who are juniors. I'm not sure if they're returning.
Right.
But, I mean, Meyer and Hardy, you start off advantage Illinois every tournament.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Unbelievable.
So then Liparelli, if you add him, that's probably the best 3 in golf.
Without a doubt.
But still, you get Fiegel's back, Tadioto, and they just learned a lot.
Yes, they did.
They learned a lot this weekend. And Fiegel's, the thing you got to find out about him is mentally.
Yes.
I think the postseason got the best of him a little bit.
I would agree with that.
And Tadioto struggled with that a little bit too. but they kind of did the right thing, and when one struggled, the other played really well.
They did. They almost did.
During the NCAA championships, but they learned a lot. Hardy and Meyer learned a lot their first year going through this process, because this NCAA championships is a grind. I think it's ridiculous that they play 2 matches in the same day.
It's too much.
But it's TV. TV calls the shots, and
exactly
they're going
right.
to do what they want to do. We can talk to Mike about that as well. But Brian Baumgarten was a top 20 recruit in the country.
Yeah, he can't make the top 5.
Yeah, he couldn't make the top 5. So you're bringing him in as your 5th golfer this year. It's not a bad thing.
No.
And then you got Brendan O'Reilly.
Right.
Brendan Riley coming in from Hinsdale, who just won the Class 3A state championship, which is the most competitive in this state. That's more talent.
Without
They're going to have
doubt.
another shot at doing this, and probably coming in ranked a higher team than they were this year.
And that's the thing is you look, and there's been things in the past when they had a couple of seniors like Danielson and then they had Dietrich, who wasn't a senior.
Danielson and Dietrich were together.
But then you had Hardy and Meyer a little bit young, you thought. So it's hard.
Golf is hard.
You're not going to have 5 seniors in golf.
Right.
You're not going to have that
You
like
shouldn't.
you do in football. You shouldn't. That's correct. So it's hard. You're always kind of relying on some younger kids to play better than maybe they should in the NCAA championships, and your older guys have to almost be perfect.
Yeah.
And so you think about next year, yes, they got a great chance. And then I start thinking, okay, down the line, when you have Fiegels and Tadioto, if he's still here, and you have Baumgarten, and those guys are juniors, let's say, and then you bring in Riley or whatever, and he's a sophomore, and that's where you start stacking them. But
it's not ending.
It's truly amazing, and that's true.
It's not. I mean, maybe they haven't won one. Maybe they haven't won one next year. But every year they get a chance. Every year they have an opportunity, and it's amazing that they get there every year. They've been to more straight match plays than any team in the country with 5 straight.
It's unreal.
Yeah, so I have no doubts that they'll get there, and it feels inevitable that he'll get one.
Yes.
I don't know if it's imminent, but it feels inevitable he'll get one because they just have so many opportunities.
It's a loose analogy, but it's like baseball. It is so hard to get to a World Series. It is so difficult. And Cubs fans know that from last year. Yeah. Cardinals fans understood that. The Cardinals, which we'll talk a lot about today, had a decade of run that was unbelievable. They were always playing in an NLCS. They had so many opportunities to win World Series, and they did get a couple, in that span, but it's so hard to win it. And you almost just think to yourself, and this is what I just kept thinking about all day Sunday. As I was walking around, I just kept talking to Lucas about this. I'm like, if they could just get the one. It feels like, and I don't know if this is fan pressure, as Carp talks about, but it just feels like it would just be that thing off the shoulders of, okay, Mike Small, who I consider to be the best coach in the country, has his national title. Now let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can add to it. But it's not,
for me,
it's
it
not
feel
a
like
shame if he doesn't get
for me,
one.
it doesn't feel like he needs it to validate
He
himself.
doesn't. He totally doesn't. But
he's a northern
deep
school
down,
getting to Final Fours 3 straight years and 4 out of 5.
You're right. But these guys are competitors, obviously, and they want it.
I'm not saying like it's disappointing that they didn't get it and they haven't gotten it so far, but it's pretty amazing they got there this year.
I'll say this, and maybe it's not professional that we try to be, but thank you to the golf team because they give us so much joy at the end of an Illini calendar athletics year that a lot of times we don't have during that calendar year.
Think of the Mike Thomas era. I mean, tennis has done some nice things.
Yes.
Tyra Perry's now doing some nice things. Isaiah Martinez has done some nice things.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
But the one constant, not baseball, golf.
It's Mike Small.
It's been Mike Small and golf. And I wrote this today. Mike Small, the biggest returner.
Without a doubt.
Every year, you have Mike Small as your coach, you got a chance to win a national championship. And that's what Whitman aspires to with every one of his programs.
And the last thing, and we're going to talk to Mike Small at 4:05 today. I cannot wait. One of the things I want to ask him as well is how it seems, and maybe this is because it's Illinois and because it's me and wanting this national title so bad for this team, it seems like the individual champion is just kind of brushed under the rug. And even Illinois.
Had 2 of them.
I know. Well, you're right. But even the kid this year, the Scheffler kid from Texas, I hardly saw, and I know he's from Texas, but I hardly saw anything about him. It was almost like, hey, congrats, man. Good job on your 12 under. Congratulations. Now let's move on to the team.
Ridiculously hard course.
Without a doubt. And Illinois has some national title individual winners, which is something to be extremely proud of. But it is all about that team right now. And I'm loving it. I'm loving watching these kids. And you know what? Just because it was in Illinois, I think I put more of this is going to be the special one. This is going to be the season. And it didn't end up that way. But
Gave themselves a chance.
You think about next year and what they've got coming back. Wow.
I mean,
wow.
Lon, you're passionate about this.
Very. I love golf.
Because there's a big man on campus right now. And we haven't even gotten to it 18 minutes into the show.
I think I'm so beat down by basketball. No.
You are passionate about this team.
I love it. And I love golf in general. I don't get to play anymore, but I just love the game in general. And for Illinois to be at such a high level and to go watch those kids play and to watch them make shots. I mean, my son is a pretty good golfer. Decent. Not anywhere close to these kids. But there were times during that round I'm like, what would you do here? And he's like, I'm just glad I don't have that. and then the next thing you know, Hardy had, he cut one around a tree and put it, 20 feet from the pin. I'm like, that's sick.
It's ridiculous.
It is sick, but it's fun and it's great to watch those kids achieve.
I was watching Meyer and Dalkey on the first 6-7 holes yesterday, and they're just going shot for shot. Just matching it middle of the fairway. It's just gross.
Can I tell you one funny story? And I don't know if you heard this. The only reason I'm repeating this, so people that listened yesterday heard this. I had a chance to walk around for about 4 holes with Dylan's dad. And he credited Nick Hardy. He's like, listen, Coach Small's the best. He does so much for Dylan. But when it came to match play, he credited Nick Hardy. And he said this, Dylan Meyer was not very good at match play. And he was almost to the point of, here comes another match play. And one day Nick Hardy sat him down and looked at him and said, you know what? You know who I hate to play in match play are guys like you that put it right down the middle, that put it on the green in 2, and you're always right there. You never make a mistake. And Dylan's dad told me, he said that was the trigger in Dylan's mind, in Dylan's mind to say, you know what, maybe I can be good at match play.
He did what in the summer last year?
Right, and he won the Western Amateur. Yeah, so he said, Nick Hardy told him, he's like, you're like that pesky gnat that won't go away. Yeah. And that's what kind of changed. I think that's cool. You've got 2 guys on the same level. They're both juniors, and they're both still helping each other. And that's how you achieve, and that's how you get to greatness.
We'll talk with Mike Small, Illini golf coach at 4:05. We'll talk about what's the issue with the Cubs who are losing again, right?
Wait, we're going to talk to Mike Small about that?
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I was leading into the next
guest. We could ask him, though.
Ryan Watt. He's a baseball reporter, writes for The Athletic, The Ringer, Vice Sports, 538. He'll join us in about 10 minutes to break down the issues with the Cubs. We also will figure out how to make the Cardinals great again.
Right. I've got lists.
4 o'clock hour, I asked Lon to do a little bit of homework. How do we make the Cardinals great again? They're under 500 right now, but they're competitive, right?
Yes, they are.
There's a down year for the Cardinals, and they're around 500.
Right.
But they got to be great again.
Yep.
Right? So let's figure out how to do that.
We need that. Best fans in baseball need that.
And Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer, will join us at 5:25. We had to give him a quick text right before the show because he broke the news that former UIC signee Greg Aboigboden is in Champaign.
Is there an easy name anymore among a recruit?
He's from Nigeria.
Okay.
Greg Aboigboden is in Champaign visiting Illinois today. He's on campus. Chin Coleman recruited him to UIC from University of Detroit High School. 6'9" big man.
Wow.
Athletic. Averaged about 12 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks per game as a senior. He grew up playing soccer in Nigeria. Started playing basketball basically about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And obviously there's a huge need for a big man. I will say, he looks like he's going to be a little bit of a developmental project, but he is long. He's athletic. He looks like he's got a thicker frame for a high school senior. So, there's fans asking, is he worth a 4-year scholarship? At this point, you have to ask yourself, do I trust Brad Underwood?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And what is your biggest need? It is a big man who is long and athletic.
Yep.
I've watched a little bit of film. I can already tell you he's not Ibby Jimday.
Okay.
Right? Who's a 6'6" big man who's just not going to be able to play in the Big Ten.
Who could not start at SIU.
This guy has the tools to develop into a good big man. Now, going into next year, do I feel comfortable with that post rotation? No. But you need a big man for the long term as well, and that's what I'm more concerned with. You'd still love to add a grad transfer if there's one out there, but this is someone Chin Coleman is obviously very familiar with. Is he going to change the program? No, but you got to have some role players.
Every recruit cannot be a top 50 recruit.
And that's why you added Mark
it'd be great if they were. You'd be Kentucky.
Trent Frazier's supposed to be a really good player for you.
Yes.
2018, you're hoping to get a couple of these star players, but you do need a guy with length and athleticism. He seems like a good rebounder and shot blocker. So we'll talk to Derek Piper a little bit more about him at about 5:25.
Jeremy's the slacker. He's finally back in studio with us.
That's right.
Finally, Friday was so fun.
It was.
Friday was so fun that you and I went up there with zero plans.
No, zero plan, and then we had Josh Whitman sit down, Lance Ringler sit down,
Dan Hartleb, Chris
Thomas. It was a blast. It was one of the more fun shows because it started off a little hairy in that tent.
Oh boy,
that Golf Channel was.
act like robots for 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, Golf Channel was like putting a curfew on us, saying you can't stay in there.
You cannot go in there.
Got out of that tent, and it was great after that.
It was so fun. Well, listen, you can always get a hold of us on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line or the Chief Bauer text line. It's this simple, 217-359-2255. Same number for both.
You can follow us on the Facebook and Twitter, the Facebook, that's what it used to be called. At Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app, get our podcast at espncu.com, or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance.
All right, we'll talk some Cubbies. We did that with Austin yesterday, and he was a little panicked about his Chicago Cubs. But we will chat with Ryan Watt and figure out what is wrong with these Cubbies. Is there anything wrong? Are they going to be fine? I think they will be. We'll do it next. It is the Tay and J Show.
At Busey, we are dedicated to enhancing and preserving your financial future, simplifying the complexities around your finances while maximizing the opportunities available to you. Whatever your dream, our wealth management team can guide you through every important financial decision. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise.
Pekin Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at PekinInsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pekin Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Pekin Insurance on Facebook today.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted metals. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
The Urbana Business Association is excited to present the 4th annual Uncork Urbana Wine Festival on Saturday, June 10th. This year's festival is jam-packed with live local entertainment, wine basket raffles, amazing food trucks, and will feature Market at the Square's live cooking demonstrations from CU's finest chefs. And not to mention, we will have amazing Illinois wineries showcasing their remarkable wine. Grab your lawn chairs and blankets and join us at the beautiful Meadowbrook Park. For more information and to purchase tickets, make your way to the UBA or visit urbanabusiness.com.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring Surfaces, where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with your 3:30 Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. You get 25% off their mosquito program. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. The Illini golf team fell in the semifinals to Oklahoma yesterday evening. The Illini took losses from Liparelli, Tadiato, and Fiegels. The Illini finished ranked 8th in the country according to the NGCAA rankings. Illini basketball is hosting a 6'9" big man, Greg E. Boyd-Bowden from Detroit Jesuit, on a visit. E. Boyd-Bowden was a UIC commit. He had offers from DePaul, Detroit, and Loyola.
Well done, Austin.
Thank you.
Bowden.
He said it right. Nice.
I did my homework.
Unlike one.
Right, exactly.
We have breaking news. The Illini football team has a game time, and this one is for the October 28th game in Memorial Stadium against Wisconsin. That game time will be 11 a.m. This is the third game time announced. The other two are as follows. October 7th at Iowa, that's 11 a.m. And October 21st at Minnesota, that's a 3:30 or 4 p.m. kick.
I love the 11 a.m. starts as a media
I
member.
was going to say, absolutely you do.
I need tailgate time.
Right. Good call. 5
straight losses for the Cubs is a thing now. The Cubs fell to the San Diego Padres last night, 6-2. Kyle Schwarber and Wilson Contreras both brought in runs for Chicago. The Cubs look to avoid the sweep of the Padres, and the score of that game is 1-1 in the bottom of the third. The Dodgers continue their domination of the NL Central after a 9-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals last night. 7 different Dodgers brought in runs versus the Birds. They play again tonight, and it's Ryu versus Martinez. Carlos has struck out 14 batters in his last 16 and a third innings. Listen to the game right here on ESPN CU at 7:15. If you're expecting a pitcher's duel in Sale versus Quintana, you are sorely mistaken. The final score of that game was 13-7.
What?
Sale gave up 5 runs, and Quintana gave up 7 earned runs. And that, my friends, is the update.
It's all good.
All right, so the new kids. Kids today have a new saying. Andrew uses it all the time. Trash. You're trash. He says that to Lucas whenever he doesn't do anything right on the athletic field. He's like, you're trash,
what a
Lucas.
Supportive little brother.
Oh, yeah, it's great. And of course, Lucas snaps at him like a turtle. But so there you go. Quintana, Sale, you're both trash.
Sale's good.
Maybe not.
Quintana... Last 2 starts, not very good.
That's all right.
I think he's still got a lot of trade value.
Yes.
It just might not be as high as it was before the season.
And that happens, and amazing, and we're going to do this as we go along here, but how the Cardinals and Cubs just continue to struggle.
The NL Central stinks.
Oh, it's horrible.
I mean, who would have thought that?
It's horrible. I mean, the Cardinals are, what, a game and a half out? 2.5 out? And they're under 500, and they're only 2.5 out.
I mean, there's one team above 500 in the NL Central, and it's the Milwaukee Brewers.
We may have to push the flag day to, like, July 4th. Maybe we'll talk to Claves the next time we talk to him next Monday, and we'll ask him, hey, can we readjust your time frame to maybe July 4th to figure out what is going on in the NL Central?
What's wrong with the Cubs? We'll get to the Jupiter's the Crossing phone line and ask somebody who might have a couple answers. He's Ryan Watt. You can read him a lot of places. The Athletic, The Ringer, Vice Sports, and 538.com. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, guys. Good to be back.
Okay, what is the biggest problem?
Yep.
What is
wrong?
The problem with the Cubs right now?
Well, I think the problem with the Cubs is that record's under 500. But if you want something a little bit more sophisticated than that, I'd say that they really only have 2 starters that they can really trust right now. And the hitting's going to come around. The hitting is bad, obviously, with a couple of exceptions. But the hitting is too good not to come around. The pitching, there was always going to be some question about how long this could last. The Cubs had an incredible run of good luck with their pitching last year and the year before, and it seems like that may have come to an end.
Why is that? Is it just because teams have figured out Arrieta and Hendricks has had some nice starts here recently. Is it because they figured out some of these guys, or is the defense, kind of taking a step back?
Well, I think it varies from guy to guy. So one thing, as you said, defense is generally a thing that you think is going to hold up pretty well year over year. This hadn't been true so far for the Cubs this year, but I'm pretty optimistic that those numbers will come back to about where they were last year, because you have pretty much the same personnel, maybe a little bit weaker in the outfield with Schwarber getting a lot more time and left than he did last year, obviously. But, with Arrieta, it's that, that guy has mechanics that require everything to be going perfectly for him to be able to repeat his delivery consistently. And when things are even a little bit off, he's going to be a lot more hittable. Lackey has been leaving some balls up that are getting smacked around a bit, and that 5th starter spot hasn't really solidified at all that much in the early going. So I'm sure they'll address that in trade and try to fix it with personnel. But I think it's a mismatch of things for each individual guy.
Ryan, I want to focus a little bit more on Arrieta because he's a guy that absolutely could change the course of the season. I mean, he is a guy that when right, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. We saw it for a stretch that was ridiculous, and now he is a guy, like you said, that is just kind of not right. And he does have kind of the funky delivery, and it's one of those situations where he's not getting the fastball across for strikes, and we know at major league level, if you don't do that, then hitters can sit on things. How much is the worry with Arrieta? And is there a thought that even during a season that he can turn that around and get things fixed?
Yeah, this is a hard one because you start getting into the psychology of these guys. Arrieta is a competitor. He doesn't like to lose. He feels like he is only just getting started in his career, after that a bit of a breakout in 14 and then a huge breakout in 15. He feels like he has, a couple more years to be at the top of his game before he starts aging out of being able to do what he knows he's able to do. So he does not want to give up on 17, and so he's going to be making whatever adjustments he needs to make to get himself back to top form. It's just tough because that delivery is so fine-tuned, because it requires such peak conditioning, it's going to be harder and harder for him to maintain going forward. The other thing that applies to all of these guys, I think, and it's really hard to tease out how much this has mattered, and maybe if the offense was hitting, we wouldn't be thinking about it that much.
Good point.
These guys have pitched a lot of innings in the last 2 years with the playoffs and everything, and a lot of high-intensity innings, and that can take its toll as well.
You can follow Ryan Watt on Twitter at RIAN Watts, WATT. Theo Epstein's going to go after a pitcher. I mean, Theo and Jed and all those guys, they're going to probably go after a pitcher. What do you expect? Do you expect him to go after a rental like a Cueto or someone like that? Yu Darvish was out there, but Texas is playing better. Or do you expect him to try and get, kind of a renovation project or a young controllable pitcher?
So I think of those three, the last one is most likely. But I actually think that the most likely option, there's a bunch of possibilities it'll depend on how the Cubs do over the next month of the season, 2 months of the season leading into the trade deadline. But I think the most likely option is they go after someone who's like a solid, controllable 4. Not too expensive, not a guy who's going to be an ace and cost a huge amount in prospects, but someone who you can maybe trade Heimer Candelario for. With a couple of other guys and get a couple of good years at the back of the rotation, because they know that this rotation is going to need some new faces at the top, starting perhaps as early as next year. And I think they're pretty happy about what is available in the free agent market, though a lot of the free agents that might be available this year haven't been pitching that well. Tanaka's been a little bit shaky. There's a couple of other guys that have been shaky. But I still think that 4 is the most likely at the trade deadline, because the ask for a number 1 type starter at this trade deadline, a Cole, an Archer, guys like that are just going to be so high that I don't think they're going to want to go for it.
The Cubs just had a hit. Chris Bryant just had a hit. Right when I was going to ask you about the woes of the offense, they just had a hit. Here we go. It's all turning around on May 31st.
I was going to say, guys, it's a bold move, programming Cubs stuff while the Cubs are playing. That's right. Who's sitting there listening to this show thinking, man, I'd rather hear these guys talk about it than watch these guys hit? I guess maybe a couple people now with the way they're playing.
Right. We got some intense listeners, Ryan. They want to know what's wrong with this squad. Let's focus a little bit on Kyle Schwarber. Of course, Joe Madden started this season leading him off. Jeremy said, let's just go ahead and trade him to the White Sox. He'd be fine with that. We kid about that. Kyle Schwarber, I guess in a nutshell, you've seen every game, Ryan. I haven't. Where are we at with him? I think sometimes we take for granted athletes coming off injury. And I know you saw what he did in that World Series last year, and for a lot of Cubs fans, they probably thought immediately, oh, he's back.
We also forget how young these guys are.
And that's exactly right. So I guess in a nutshell, what is going wrong with Schwarber, and how does he get it fixed?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. So first of all, as you said, we really haven't seen that much regular season Schwarber in the big league.
Right.
I mean, still, we had a little bit at the end of 15. We had that great playoff run in 15, and then we had the World Series, which was great, but adrenaline's pumping, and that's kind of a different thing. Another thing is that a lot of this seems to be splits-based. For whatever reason, something is not going right one way for Schwarber right now, and that's kind of unfortunate. Another thing is, in here, I'm going to pick a bit of a bone with Joe Madden, who has said out loud that Schwarber's kind of a platoon guy for him right now. I don't know if that's the right move for his confidence right now, because when you break down his batted ball numbers and his hard hit rate, he's swinging at the right thing, and he is controlling the zone in the way you would expect. They're just not landing for him right now, and the outputs aren't working, but the inputs, when you break it all down, aren't really that concerning. This is still Kyle Schwarber we're talking about, and forget the huge power, forget the strength. He has an approach, and an approach typically doesn't slump in the way that he's slumping right now. And so I'm not so sure that saying out loud that Kyle Schwarber's a platoon player was the best move right now, because I'm pretty confident in his ability to work things out and get back to where he needs to be.
Over Ian Happ's first 31 at-bats, he had 8 runs, 2 homers, 5 RBI, and hit over, had an on-base over 400, something like that. During the last week, he's 2 for 21 with a 208 on-base and 095 slugging. Is this just Ian Happ needing to make adjustments now?
Yeah, that's just adjustments. I mean, I think one of those times on base is a hit by pitch too.
Yeah.
So he's grinding in these last couple weeks. I mean, when he came up, he wasn't expected to stay for more than a week or so, and he did so well, and so he got an opportunity to stay, and he proved he could hit the fastball, and so the league said, okay, well, let's see what you can do against some breaking balls, and let's see what you can do against some stuff outside of the zone. He'll work it out. He has enough of a minor league track record and ability to adjust against high-level pitching that he will work it out. I wouldn't be shocked if he spent some more time in the minors this season, not because he's done anything wrong, but just because hitting in the big leagues is really hard. And doing it your first time up is even harder. So I don't think if he gets sent down, that's any indication that the Cubs don't believe in his long-term future. It's just that he wasn't expected to be here more than a week, and he proved that he should be, and now he's adjusting.
Ryan, what do you make of the NL Central right now?
Yeah, no, you said it. That's a big old sad face for the whole division. I mean, you look at what's happening in the NL West with 3 great teams, and that's with the Giants even out of the running because of the Bumgarner thing. Like, that's a division that's fun to watch right now. This NL Central, I feel like someone's going to take this thing with 77 games, and it's just going to be horrible to watch. Yeah, it's the only thing that's saving the Cubs right now is that the rest of the division has just been, I don't even want to say bad relative to expectations, because the Brewers are probably playing a little bit above expectations. Sure. The Cardinals are maybe a little bit below theirs. But no one's really jumped out, and yeah, it's not been good.
I want to ask just one last overview of the Cubs, Ryan. I am not panicked. Now, I'm not panicked. Now, I'm not a Cubs fan, so going through this little struggle I kind of enjoy as a Cardinals fan. However, I'm not panicked. I still see this team as the weather gets warm, the bats are going to heat up, there's too much offense there. I think Arrieta will figure this out, calm down a little bit, and they're going to go get something done at the trade deadline. But at what point, at what date do you look at this team and say, all right, maybe there is a little bit of an issue here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're there. I think something when you're 2 months into the season and you're under 500, today's results notwithstanding, there's something that's gone wrong. The question is whether it's something that has changed fundamentally in the underlying skill set and the expectations we should have for this team, or whether it's something that has just naturally varied around what we should have expected with them. And I think the answer to that right now is that this is about the worst that you could expect a really good Cubs team to play. And so I think it is possible to believe simultaneously this is a really good Cubs team and they're playing like garbage right now. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing. So you can say that now if you are sitting in mid-August and the Cubs are still under 500, and that's a problem. Sure. Even if the division hasn't picked it up and they're still, a game and a half out of first, that's still a problem, because that doesn't bode well for the playoffs. That doesn't bode well for really anything going forward.
Ryan Watt, we asked you some heavy questions. We asked you to fix the Cubs. You did a pretty good job there, buddy. The Athletic, The Ringer, Vice Sports, 538. A lot of places you can read Ryan Watt and follow him on Twitter at Ryan Watt. That's RIAN Watt. Ryan, we always appreciate your time and your information.
Hey, thanks, guys. Take care.
Appreciate it. Ryan Watt, good stuff there. The Cubbies, again, I'm not worried about.
Oh, they're the best team in that division.
But he is right with regards to that pitching. And when you only have an advantage 2 out of 5 days on the mound, you're not going to win many games.
Right.
You say you're not going to win many games. This team is good enough still to overcome that, but that's tough to do. That's tough to do when you only have 2 guys every 5 that are going out there and give you the best chance to win.
I mean, one player is not going to fix this, but I think the offense will be fine.
Yes,
I think the offense will score runs.
Yep.
They just need these guys to get back to what they're capable of, and I think they will. I mean, I don't think Anthony Rizzo is all of a sudden not a good player. I don't think Kyle Schwarber is a terrible player. I think these guys will be fine on offense. They are swing and miss, though, so they will be streaky. Mm-hmm. The pitching is a concern. The starting pitching is an absolute concern when your ERA is 4.6, when last year was around 3 or something like that, maybe even lower. for your starter ERA. I mean, that is a big concern. And Hendricks, we thought would come back down to earth a little bit. He has, but he's a solid pitcher, middle of the rotation guy.
Totally agree.
Arrieta's the concern.
He is.
And Lackey obviously feels like he's done. Almost done.
He does.
He's going to give you some innings. But you need to add somebody there. And I do think Ryan's right. I think they're going to find somebody who's not a stud.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to pay the price for Archer. I don't think they're going to pay the price for Quintana. I think they want to keep Eloy Jimenez. I think they want to keep Ian Happ. But I do think they'll trade Heimer Candelario and a Dylan Cease and get a good pitcher from a team like a Sonny Gray.
Right.
I think a Sonny Gray could make a lot of sense for them. I don't think Sonny Gray's the ace or the number 2 we thought he was a couple years ago, but I do think he's a very good number 4 in your system. And I think Oakland is probably to the point where they're like, okay, we need more pieces.
Right.
We could trade this guy and start to rebuild a little bit more.
In Theo, we trust, correct? And if you're the Cubs, he's done what he's done now. He and Jed Hoyer have gotten you to this point. They got you a World Series. I would just calm down, and I'm not saying you're panicked, but I would calm down and realize, let Theo work again. I mean, there's one thing that he did do that's glaring. He did not work on a lot of pitching talent through the minors, and that's something you're seeing right now. Yeah. Not a lot of depth, but that's something that he'll correct. The other thing that brings in that's funny about this is there is that dynamic. Yes, you got your World Series. Yes, you should be happy about that. And for a lot of Cubs fans, it's like, yep, that's all I wanted.
Once you win one, though.
But you get hungry.
You want another one.
You get hungry,
like
and especially when you have all these pieces.
2005 was awesome, and most of 2006 was great for the White Sox fans because you were the best team in baseball at the All-Star break, and then it fell apart and you didn't even make the playoffs.
Correct.
You were angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I want another one. Yeah. I want to be a dynasty in baseball. So I get it, yeah.
It's kind of like Josh Whitman said, which was brilliant in the Brad Underwood press conference when he said, you remember that time when we looked up on the board and he said, all of a sudden, that could be 20, that could be 30 years down the road when you're good again like that. I'm not saying that about the Cubs, but when you win one, it's hard to win that next one. And then all of a sudden, you look down the road like you're the Cardinals right now going, man, it's been a few years.
Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Right?
Boy,
so
that
I keep
85 team, Jeremy.
I know. I keep hearing about it.
I love bringing that up with you.
I've never seen it.
I talked to a guy the other day on the golf course. We were talking about that.
30 years old.
He's like, man, that 85 team was good, though, weren't they? I'm like, they were really good.
That was 32 years ago. Right?
You have to, you can't take them for granted. When you win one, you take it and you might think to yourself, that might be the last one I ever see.
We'll talk about the Illini big man recruit that's on campus with Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer at 5:25. His name, Greg Boyd-Bowden.
Okay.
Just say it quick, like you know.
Greg Boyd-Bowden.
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 Yes, Greg Boyd-Bowden.
Okay, that's not that hard.
I do have a list coming up, though.
Oh, do you really?
A baseball list.
Okay, I'm anxious to get to this. If you want to weigh in on the text line, 359-2255. That's the Chief Bauer text line. You can always call as well. The Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. Same number, 217-359-2255. Tay and J Show.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at GTPSinsurance.com.
Alto Vineyards has long been a leader in the Illinois wine industry, winning over 700 awards in national and international wine competitions in the last 20 years. Now, Alto Vineyards, along with SJ Broadcasting, present Music Among the Vines, East Central Illinois' premier summer concert series, held under the stars. Stop by Alto Vineyards each weekend throughout the summer and indulge in Illinois wines, premium beers, soft drinks, and light food items, all while experiencing the best music the area has to offer. For more details, visit altovineyards.net or call 356-4784.
Alto Vineyards Music Among the Vines 2017 returns this Saturday with a live performance at 7:30 from Candy Foster and Shades of Blue.
You only live once when you dare to do. Let the good time roll. Let the good time.
Don't miss Candy Foster and Shades of Blue. 7:30 this Saturday at Alto Vineyards. Then Sunday, it's a live performance from Billy Gull. More details at altovineyards.net.
The official fan store of the Fighting Illini is moving. Game Day Spirit, currently located at 1422 South Neal Street, is moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. In the meantime, they're preparing for the lowest prices of the season to be available during their moving sale in June. Stay tuned for more information and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Game Day Spirit. Stay in the know of all things Game Day and all things Fighting Illini with Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5. As I try to get this juicy fruit out of my teeth.
It's not easy, man.
Hey, win great Illini apparel, gear, and novelty items each week with the Tay and J Show. We're going to do this later today. You play Game Day Spirit's Wheel of Games in the 5 o'clock hour to win great Fighting Illini prizes. Game Day Spirit located on Green Street on South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, a proud sponsor of the ESPN 93.5 Tay and J Show and the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
That is awesome to partner with Game Day Spirit. Love that store. Yesterday we hid Cletus, the robot. We hid him. We didn't hide him, but we put him up somewhere in the studio.
Oh, nice.
And you had to YouTube. You had to get on YouTube and find him and then send that in. So that was kind of a fun little thing.
Who has the Fox Cletus robot?
I don't remember. I think Ryan from Fisher. Or I don't remember. Yeah, Ryan from Fisher.
Do we actually have a Cletus robot in here?
Yes.
Who has it?
No. They won it, so they've already picked it up. Yeah.
Okay.
So they won the prize. They won Cletus. I know. I wanted to keep it.
I was like, we have a Cletus robot in here?
I told Carp, I'm like, can we
He's famous.
Let's give away like one of those
How old
Arizona
is Cletus?
Cardinal Bud Light cans. I don't know.
How long has Fox had Cletus?
I did not know, number one, that was his name. Yeah. I didn't know the robot actually had a name.
If you had a robot, what would you name him? Light him up.
Cletus is a pretty cool. Hey, that was kind of my nickname growing up. I told Carp.
Cletus?
Well, it's Lon C.
Cletus.
Tay. I don't have a middle name. It's just C. So I can't tell you some of the.
It's an Illini one.
Austin brought it in.
That's pretty cool.
I think that accidentally. I think Ryan from Fisher.
We lost that.
If you don't pick that up by 5 today, that might be going to Philo. Ryan.
It was named through a viewer contest in 2007. This is from Wikipedia, so you know it's true.
Okay.
Made his first appearance in 2005.
Wow, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. All right, 359-2255. You have a list?
I have
a
list.
He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. 'Cause we love to go through lists just to mess with the lawn.
Yeah, that's always real funny, isn't it? Juicy fruits are really tough to eat, but I don't like the black ones. That's all I got. Man, I've been really bad at that.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese and...
That's a terrible
chips
effort.
and dip.
Grilled cheese and chips and dip.
Oh, that's good, man.
I mean, I like both those things. I just didn't know they were a combo.
I bought some generic dip the other day.
Yesterday, I fed my kid chicken and bananas. I was talking to my wife because we had banana that was not blackened yet.
Poor Torin. Does he need me to come up and take him out to lunch?
He loves bananas. He's been eating a lot of chicken lately, so we want to get him some protein.
These shoes
and I'm
are
bananas.
I'm
like, we got to eat this banana within the next couple of days, bud. So how about some chicken and bananas?
And what did he say back?
He ate it.
I saw today on Facebook you had where he's doing the blah, 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 with his lips or whatever. That's the best.
Yes.
All right, you've got a list.
I do have a list.
All right, what do we got?
All right, Albert Pujols is one home run away from joining the 600 home run club.
That is fantastic, by the way. Can I comment on that for 2 seconds? Yeah. Congratulations to Albert. I know as a lot of Cardinals fans, there's a lot of kind of bitterness a little bit towards number 5 and the fact that he took the money and went out west. But
I'd take the money.
Yeah, I would too. But that's pretty cool to see him reach 600 when he does. That's awesome, man. What a career that guy's had.
Yeah, so he would be the 9th member.
Wow.
Or he will be. He's going to hit one. He'll be the 9th member of the 600 home run club, which obviously has added a lot of members in the last couple decades.
Yes.
And this 600 home runs, we think 20, 30 years ago, this would have been a much bigger deal.
Huge.
Before the steroid era. But can you name me, Lon?
Oh, no.
The 8 members of the 600 home run club.
See, this stuff is so
right,
easy.
Come on, just think of some of the greatest. Barry Bonds, 672 is number, or 762 is number 1.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey, number 6, 630 home runs.
And all of a sudden, I've hit like a dry spell now.
Who's before Bonds and before that guy?
Sosa?
Of all guys, you get Sosa. Yes, he's number 8, 609.
McGuire didn't hit 600.
No, he was close. 583.
Right before those guys. Let's see.
Two guys who were home run kings for a long time.
Isn't this horrible? I'm telling you what, people, until you're in this spot.
Whose record did Bonds break?
I'm trying to think, and I can't think of it. Can I phone a friend with Austin and the crew real quick?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not letting me?
I mean, just take a moment.
This is harder than you think, guys. You know who's coming? No, this is what bugs me about this. You know, names that are coming to my head right now are like Gorman Thomas.
What?
Yeah, Cecil Fielder.
755.
Oh, Hank. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's my bad. I was thinking recent.
714.
714 would have been. Is that one of the Yanks?
Who did Hank beat?
That was it Roger? No, not Roger.
Roger who?
Roger Babe?
Yes, it's
Babe Ruth. I said one of the Yankees.
All right.
Hank and Babe.
Okay.
Griffey. Bonds.
You have 3 more left.
Sosa.
All these guys played in the 90s and 2000s.
Wow. Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro.
Okay, I'll give you some clues.
Lance Johnson.
You got one more guy from the 60s who hit 600.
Al Kaline.
Okay, he hit 660. He's got a connection to Barry Bonds' family. Played for the same team Barry Bonds played for.
Willie McCovey.
Willie,
not Willie McCovey. Willie Stargell?
Oh, come on.
Willie.
He's the greatest Willie baseball player of all time.
Willie McGee.
Well, he starts with an M.
Willie McCovey.
Willie. His name's a month.
Willie Majoon? I don't know.
His name is this month?
I can't think of it, and I'm going to beat myself up.
What is this month?
This month is May. Willie Mays!
Yes!
Oh, that's awesome!
No.
Yes! I got Willie Mays! All right. This is so painful.
All right. This player is number 4 all time. Was going to hit 700, but the team that he was signed with didn't want him to play anymore.
Ooh. That doesn't help me. What number was he?
He's an analyst on Fox right now. He was 13.
John Kruk.
Won 1 World Series.
Ooh.
Made more money than anybody ever playing baseball.
Alex Rodriguez.
That's correct.
Okay.
696.
Wow. And I've got one more now?
One more. Country Strong. That's the clue I'll give you.
Enos Country Boy Slaughter.
No. He's an Illinois native.
Jim told me?
Yes.
Really?
6'12".
That was pathetic, Lon. And to all our listeners, I apologize. I know you're all out there going, are you really that stupid, Lon? It's hard when you sit in the seat.
You get nervous.
I do get nervous. I get nervous over lists.
You can take a moment, not talk, and think about it.
I think it's that song.
Yeah.
I get Hall & Oates in my mind.
Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth, man. I mean, come on. I mean, I can understand Tommy, A-Rod, even Willie Mays a little bit.
I was thinking today, and I wasn't even thinking about Hank and Willie and those guys.
Because those home runs didn't count.
My apologies to the old-timers that are that great. All right, Mike Small, save me. Illini golf coach, he's next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Just to mess with love.
It was big, huger than huge.
Big would be an understatement.
Wow, this is giant.
It's Rosati's Pizza's Big Deal Beginning of the Week sale. This Monday and Tuesday, the big, huge deal is coming your way. Score a 14-inch, 2-topping thin crust pizza with a 2-liter for $17.10. Rosati's continues to celebrate their 10th anniversary with really large, big deals. A 14-inch, 2-topping thin crust pizza with a 2-liter for only $17.10 at Rosati's Pizza. 701 South Gregory and online at myrosatis.com.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Bring into
double points now through the end of May with the Illini Visa Rewards Card and the U of I Community Credit Union. Double points are waiting for you. Now through the end of May, use your Illini Visa Rewards Card on purchases for lawn and garden, sporting goods, nurseries, and home improvement stores and score double points. Plus, you can earn an extra 1,000 bonus points when you use your Illini Visa for 20 or more transactions each month. Use those points to purchase once-in-a-lifetime trips and experiences. Not a member yet? Visit IlliniCard.org today.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers in Champaign. For over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. We cover everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, we've seen it and we can help. Call us at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
President Trump says he's hearing a lot from both sides about the Paris Climate Accord and that he'll have a decision soon. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, says the president's number one goal is American jobs.
We care as much about the climate as we do about jobs. There's a way to balance it. You don't have to have one or the other. And I think that's what everyone internationally needs to know.
Haley trying to reassure environmentalists that even if the U.S. does pull out, the planet will still be protected. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi says it would be a grave threat to the planet's future and a stunning abdication of American leadership. Just getting word of new subpoenas issued by the House Intelligence Committee, which is part of the Russia probe. However, these subpoenas are about leaks, specifically the unmasking of Trump associates in intelligence reports then leaked to the media. Fox's James Rosen.
Each one of those subpoenas, we are told, explicitly referenced 3 former senior officials from the Obama administration as figures of interest, if you will, in the unmasking probe. Those 3 officials are Susan Rice, the former White House National Security Advisor, John Brennan, the former CIA director, and most interestingly, Samantha Power, the former UN ambassador whose name has not previously surfaced in connection with these allegations.
No response yet from any of them. The new subpoenas being served on the agencies, the FBI, CIA, and NSA. How did a suicide truck bomber get all the way into the diplomatic zone considered highly secure in the Afghan capital, Kabul, killing at least 90 people, wounding hundreds, including 11 U.S. citizens working as contractors? It's under investigation. On the last day of May, stocks finished lower, the Dow down 20 points, but the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all finished higher for the month. Fair and balanced.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Just released in Florida recordings from police cameras during the response to a deadly terror attack in Orlando last June.
Police body cams recorded the frenetic minute-by-minute action of the response to the mass shooting inside Orlando's Pulse nightclub last year.
Guys, stay down. There's going to be more shots.
You can hear they're planning to take out shooter Omar Mateen, maybe storming him inside the club's bathroom.
He's got automatic weapons and stuff blazing through the door.
Sierra 48 watch too. If he's got a long gun, he's in the bathroom. And he's on the other side of those walls.
Some of it's graphic video and audio. You see them round up victims and get them off to the hospital.
Put him in the truck. truck. In the back truck.
Let's go. Right here. Come on, let's go right here.
All right, go.
Mateen killed 49 people that night. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Mateen's widow is now facing charges of aiding and abetting his plot. A former Air Force mechanic who tried to join ISIS is sentenced to 35 years in prison. Tyrod Pugh was also convicted of obstruction of justice. Comedian Kathy Griffin cut loose by CNN despite her apology for a photo with a mock severed head of President Trump. Fox's Michelle Polino.
Kathy Griffin will no longer be standing beside Anderson Cooper during the network's New Year's Eve special. CNN releasing a statement via Twitter saying, CNN has terminated our agreement. This in response to Griffin's attempt at what she labeled as art.
Though she did later apologize, saying she had crossed a line. NASA has a new mission.
We're going to send Solar Probe into the corona, and we will finally touch the sun.
Technically, they'll be touching the sun's outer atmosphere. With a probe they plan to launch next year, Mission Project scientist Nicola Fox says it'll travel more than 100 miles per second as it takes scientific measurements. It'll be named after the astrophysicist who discovered solar wind energy, Eugene Parker. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
I am getting... It's not pretty on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
And I deserve it.
This wasn't what I meant to do. I
know.
I thought it was a fun exercise.
It was really bad.
I didn't expect you to struggle that much in the top four.
With Hank Aaron and Willie Mays.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Babe Ruth. I mean, you didn't say Babe Ruth.
No. I have no excuse. I wish I could.
I mean, I wasn't trying to sabotage you.
I wish I could dig deep down right now and come up with an excuse of my arm hurts or
I'm on medication.
I'm on medication. I've been drinking all day. I mean, none of that. I can't use any of that.
Well, here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Cheap Hour. Trust the experts at Cheap Hour Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at cheaphour.com. Tonight, clear, low of 52. Thursday, sunny, 80 your high, 58 your low. Friday, much of the same. Mostly sunny, high 83, a low of 67. This is beautiful in Champaign-Urbana, 77 degrees.
Mick June. Can I blame it on the fidget spinner?
You're not focused?
If you're watching YouTube, Andrew, my 10-year-old, got me one of those little fidget spinners for Father's Day. Now, Father's Day is not even until June something, right?
Yeah.
And he's already given me a gift.
He's that excited.
He was for that $1 fidget spinner.
Well, it was a fun weekend, getting up to Rich Harvest Farms a couple times. Lon, you got up there a couple times, and it was great to see the Illini golf team in action and kicking butt, as usual.
It is so fun to end, like I said, the school calendar year, essentially, at Illinois with this golf team, because you know every year they're going to end it on a high note, and that's exactly what they did again. It is time to head to the Jupiters, the Crossing phone line, and welcome in Illini golf coach Mike Small. Congrats, Coach, on another unbelievable run with your squad.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for the support that you guys have given us, the coverage and the fan base that you've generated and helped and just support our program. It means a lot. Appreciate that.
Coach, you deserve
welcome,
it.
Coach, yes.
You guys every year make these kind of runs. You're everything Josh Whitman wants in this program and the fans want in every one of these teams. But, you know, this has been a great run for you, obviously, but you finally got fans a chance to really come up and see you. What was that like for you to see that kind of support where you had 4 or 5 people deep on some of these greens?
Yeah. It was neat. We didn't know what to expect, but we knew there was something brewing up there from what we heard, and that added a little bit of the pressure we had at the end of the year because everybody was saying they'd see us at the national championship,
Right.
but we had to get there, and it's difficult to get there. It's not as easy as people think. And once we got there was a sigh of relief. And then when we went to the golf course, and the first day, I had some people from the NCAA and other golf coaches said they'd never seen something like this on the first couple of days of the championship. Wow. You know, Oklahoma State had some great fans a few years ago on the final day of match play when they came out, but to have the 2,500 or 3,000 fans or whatever it was the first day of stroke play was very rare, unique. I mean, it's never been done before. So that just shows what the Illini Nation is and all about and how they support their own. And you know, we haven't been seen a lot. You're right, but you know, we think of the people, and we really appreciate what they do.
You know, Coach, and I think the one thing that was just so cool to me, your players, they love that. And not only do they love that with regards to having fans there, obviously anybody would like that, but they are so communication. I mean, they communicate with these fans, and they, you know, in other words, I'm trying to give your players props here because the way they handle that and the way that they talk with Illini fans, it is something to be proud of.
Well, it is, and I saw that, and it made me proud. I mean, our guys got some charisma, they got some self-confidence, and they can handle themselves in public. But you never know how they're going to perform and handle that. You know, some kids, when they get that pressure of playing in front of people like that, bigger crowds, they kind of get withdrawn and you know, maybe lose their confidence and get scared. Well, these guys embraced it. We had talked about it before, but you know, to see our veterans, Nick and Dylan, I knew they would love it. I mean, that's Dylan's element there. He loves that stuff. But the freshmen, the way they performed, you know, most of the week was fun for me to see.
I want to ask you, Coach, as I'm watching, I didn't get a chance to get up there yesterday. And as I'm watching and kind of as it comes to an end there on 17, what a brutal hole. You know, I had this thought, and I know every Illini fan feels the same way, Coach, not just for the players, but for you. We want it so bad for you, that national title. But how much does this hurt? I mean, how much does it hurt to not capture that, to get so close over and over and not capture it?
I was asked that yesterday by people up there, and it's weird. It's like I want it as bad as anybody, but I've been doing this long enough, and I know how hard it is to win at golf. I mean, when I was on tour, you get one winner a week and 155 losers, and it's just inherent in the game. And I'm good with it. I'm frustrated that I can't get it for our guys, and we're trying to figure this thing out. But just to get there and put yourself in contention, that's what you do in the game of golf. Is you try to put yourself in contention as much as you can. And some of the bigger events that I've won as a pro, I've let, you know, other people have lost it, and I just stayed the course. And that's the way majority of golf tournaments are won. And you know, you just got to get there and keep knocking on the door. It's frustrating for my guys, but for me personally, I don't do it to win a national championship. I would love to, but I do it honestly. And I know it sounds philosophical, but I do it for these kids, and I do it for the relationships and watching them grow. And awesome. I get my kicks out of just watching them get better. And how they handle these emotions. And I told them during the round and after the round last week, they were getting a little nervous at the end of stroke play and kind of hyperventilating and dry mouths. And I had to explain to them, guys, this is awesome. This is a blessing. How many people go through life and never feel this emotion? Awesome. I mean, you know, most people, I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people go through life just kind of standard and you know, hearts don't jump and they don't feel this range of emotions of victory and defeat. And these guys get to do it at 19, 20 years old, so embrace it. And that's, you know, kind of weird. I get off on that. I get off on just watching these kids handle it and watch their emotions and how they enjoy it and fight through the adversity. And, you know, that's what gets me excited.
That's a perfect answer. Mike Small, Illini golf coach, joining us here on the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line. Tay and J Show, Lante and Jeremy Werner. I had this question for some of the guys that were here yesterday as we were watching the end of that, and I kind of looked at one of them, and I'm like, man, I want to ask Coach Small, what's it going to take to get over the hump? What does it take? Now, you've been so close so many times. I know there's probably not a perfect answer for that, but what does it take to get over the hump and get that national title?
Well, just to cut straight to it, we need to be stronger mentally, stronger and decisive when it comes down to crunch time. It's so hard to win. Like this year, Vanderbilt and USC are by far the strongest teams in the country all year. Right. Vanderbilt would beat us stroke play almost every time they'd play us. They're that deep, and yet they get beat yesterday. You know, Baylor's got 5 players in the top 70 in the country, or 75, every one of them, and they get beat early. It's just this match play thing. I tell people it is a flip of a coin. It is something you cannot predict.
Right.
And if we played best of 3 or best of 5, it would be more. You could predict the winners a little more. But you got Oregon and Oklahoma are 2 of the highest seeded teams nationally that made match play that are playing for the national title today. All the top 3. 1, 3, 4, 5, 8 teams got beat. Wow. And it's the way it's set up is so fleeting. And if it was the old way of just stroke play, we would have won a national championship already, and
yes,
been right there for 2 or 3 more. And it's just a fleeting way, and you have to be so strong mentally, so strong and decisive in what you do. And you know, yesterday our freshmen and our young guys kind of reverted back to some of their junior golf habits. To be honest with you, we talked about it. They were trying their heart out, and they're trying to handle those emotions, but you know, when we get away from putting the balls on the correct side of the pins and being careless with our ball placement and not handling ball flight very well, that's all because of nerves and because of expectations and because of just the the scenery of what's going on. And so we need to be more decisive, and I think that was some of our other teams too, is that we're good, we want it so bad, we just need to be a little stronger when it matters.
Coach Eduardo Liparelli was playing so well towards the end. Didn't have a great day, a great afternoon yesterday, but I mean, he's playing his best golf right now. Is it for certain that he's going to go pro?
Yeah. We knew that back in January.
Yeah.
Eduardo, he upheld his end of the bargain, though. We talked in January, and he wasn't one of these kids that was just going to coast through school and turn pro and enjoy the semester. He was going to ante up in the classroom and do everything we expected him to do if he's going to be here 4 years, and he did. He had a great semester academically and helped us out on the golf course and got better in his 2 years here. So, today was the last time we were going to see Ado for a while, and we wish him well, but he wants to play professional golf. And, how can you fault somebody for wanting to do what they really have a passion to do?
Yeah, and go get paid money to play a thing you love to do. I can't argue with that. So next year, I mean, the guys I was really interested to see this weekend, Coach, and you talked a little bit about them, were Fiegels and Tadiotto, because they're really going to have to play bigger roles next year. And even guys like Nick and Dylan, I mean, their freshman years, you can be told about what that experience is like, but to feel it, to be there, Gio going through some of those struggles, Fiegels going through some of those struggles, but both had some good moments as well. What does that experience do for them going forward?
Jeremy, you're exactly right. A lot of the stuff you say makes a lot of sense. You know that?
Try to.
You are a pretty knowledgeable guy. I enjoy reading your stuff, and I enjoy listening to you. And you are right on it. This is a progression. This is a journey. And Nick and Dylan were ahead of these guys in some areas of the games and behind them in others. And every kid develops a different pace, a different way. They handle these experiences differently. That's what makes my job so fun. Is there's not a textbook way of doing everything. You just kind of got to go with your gut, and every kid is different, and learn. And these guys have the potential to be just as good as these guys. But I told them today, there's no guarantee they will be. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of, like I said, decisiveness, and a lot of conviction to get there. And they need to improve certain areas of the game. But they both improved so much this year. I mean, I ask anybody in college golf last August if we would have been in the national semifinal again, and you would have got a no out of everyone. You lose two players in the top 8 in the world last year with Charlie and Thomas, and then you make this run like we did, and we got better. I mean, we had more of a presence about ourselves, and we took care of business, handled the adversity, and handled the conditions and the hard golf courses. We played some hard golf courses at Big Tens, regionals, and nationals, about as hard as you get, and they grew up. But you're on borrowed time a lot of times with young players, and when you put the pressure and the fatigue and the mental and emotional stress the national championship puts on these kids, the older you are and the stronger you are, the easier it is to handle it. And I just think we just kind of had a relapse yesterday, and it was not a good day. And Oklahoma didn't play that great either. To their defense, they just made a lot of putts, and that's what you have to do in match play. They made putts everywhere, and Ado had a chance to come back, but the guy he's playing made 3 straight 10 to 15 footers to tie the hole in the middle of back 9. And we just got off to a bad start, got behind in some matches, and it was really out of careless play. And we just did not play the game that we practice and train and preach, and we just got out of it. Got sloppy, and it caught up with it.
Coach, we had all the kids in studio, and of course Nick and Dylan, they're veterans. They're really fun to talk to. We've talked to them a lot, but one of the kids I thought was really interesting to talk to was Brian Baumgarten.
Yes.
Because he had a decent fall, and then the spring just did not go his way. And this is a ballyhooed recruit, comes in here. He has some struggles and realizes that, hey, I can't struggle like this and be in the top 5 at Illinois.
Crazy.
But he seemed like he was handling it pretty well, being a supportive role right now. I mean, what's he been going through, and how big is this offseason? Because obviously, he's going to have to compete with a couple new recruits coming in next year.
Right. I mean, it's hard. It's hard on those kids to have that, but unfortunately, only 5 get to play. You can't bring people off the bench in the middle of a round. And of a lot of those schools in the Final 8 that made match play, he had opportunities to go play for too. So, he was bothered by it, the way he played. He wanted to help the team, but he's a mature kid, and he's a good kid, and he's the kind of guy that you can put in your program any day of the year, and we love him, and he handled it well. He helped us as much as he could this week and last week in supporting the guys. But he's got to iron some things out, and he's in the process of doing it. He's hitting it right now better than he's hit it all year. And he's building that confidence back up. But when you play golf, if you'd like to play this sport, you're going to have downturns that last a short time and downturns that last a long time. That's just the nature of the game. It goes ebbs and flows, and he's in one of those lows right now that he's going to have to push through. And when he does, he'll be better for it. And it's just you can't. This game is so hard and so taxing mentally and emotionally that you're going to have some downturns. And we talked about it. He's just in one, and he'll fight out of it. He'll have his chance next fall to come back. We all start out 0-0. Everybody on the team is going to start out 0-0 and qualifying next fall, and he has a chance to get right back in there, and that's what we want him to do.
Mike, you've done this a long time now, and you're really good at it. But what kind of did you learn this year? I mean, what were the unique challenges that they kind of learned from this year?
Well, we just do what we do. We try to do the same thing as much as we can and build momentum throughout the year. But this was probably, and I think the guys will admit it too, this was probably the most, and I say this in a nice way, the most immature group I've had, just because of the ages and because of the lack of leadership experience that we had. And, I learned that even though as low as you can think you are or how bad it is in the fall, and you can see the warts on your team, that if you stick with your guns and stick with what you're doing, and impose your will, I guess you can say, on what you do every day and strive for the end of the season, it can be done. And it proved it to me even more because, back in, even though we had a good fall, there were still some things we could see that were causing some problems. And early in the spring, it was that way. But these guys, they grew up, they bought in, they listened, and the respect between coaches and players and vice versa was so strong that if you stick with your convictions, you can get it done. And for us to push through and finish third in stroke play on that golf course, I wouldn't have thought that 2 months ago. But we did. And just stick with yourself. Stick with what you do and don't try to be somebody else.
Coach Small, last one from me. I think one of the coolest things about having this event that was so close for Illini fans to go witness is that you realize how much of a grind it is from Thursday's practice round all the way through even having to play today if you were playing for a national title. It almost seems too much to me, Coach. And I know we had Lance Ringler on from Golf Week, someone that you talk with quite a bit, and he talked about that as well, that it's almost too much golf with regards to 72 holes of stroke play, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you have 18 holes of match play, and then you'd have to do it again. And I mean, even Jeremy and I, now I'm old as dirt, but even Jeremy yesterday walked out. I mean, you were getting tired. Is it too much, Coach? I know everybody has to do it, so this is not an excuse. This is not an Illinois excuse or a Mike Small excuse. Is it too much for these kids?
Yes, it's plain yes, and that's a great observation. I was talking with the head of the NCAA yesterday and the Golf Channel, and something has to be done about it. But it is what it is, so you embrace it as much as you can. But yesterday we get up at 4:00 in the morning to go to the golf course. Less than 9 or 10 hours removed from having the biggest high of the year or possible low of the year. You're spent, and then you come out and then you walk on that golf course to walk 36 holes yesterday. What was a 16-mile hike, playing golf for 10 hours. And as I said, it's more mental and emotional taxing. Young guys don't know how to do that. Dylan and Nick have figured it out over time, and they pace themselves, but our young guys did not. And I think it's bad for the Golf Channel to put it on TV, showcase college golf to the world when you're playing with fatigued players and just spent players from 8 rounds in 7 days. You got practice round, you got four medal play rounds, and then 2 match play rounds. So we played 7 rounds in 6 days, 7 rounds in 6 days.
It's crazy.
It is what it is, and you have to fight through it, and that's the rules, and that's what they laid it down. So there's no excuses. But I just think the quality of golf on TV wasn't as good as it should be or normally is because you got the stress, the tension, the pressure added on to all the fatigue. And people think about it. That's 16 miles they walked carrying the bag, 25, 20-pound bag, playing on national TV when you're 19 years old and you're shaking on every shot. It was just it is what it is. But it's turned into more of a marathon or a grueling sport than a golf tournament in some ways. But it is what it is.
What would you rather have, Coach?
I liked it was before when you had 3 rounds, play 54 holes, identify a winner, what Peters and Guthrie did or Langley did, and then go straight into match play. 3 days of 1 round each in match play.
Done.
The Golf Channel wants the 72 holes, wants the 4th round to identify the individual champion. I get that for TV, but college golf is a team sport. It's not an individual sport, and take that fourth round out, leave it at 54 holes, then you have 3 straight days of one match each day instead of that 36-hole days is what throws guys for a loop. Yep. That's when you hit that wall.
Absolutely. And Coach, I thought of one more, and it struck me Sunday as the kid Scheffler was winning the individual title, and I'm sure for him and his family and his golf team and everybody in Texas, that was great for him. But even Dylan Meyer, even down the stretch, with him competing for the individual title, the whole time I just kept thinking about the team, which is exactly what you want. I understand that, but it is interesting in this format that you almost are just kind of like, oh, by the way, hey, congrats on your individual title. Now let's get right back to the team play. That to me is a little strange as well.
Well, that's the way the coaches and all the players think. It's all about the team. But the TV Golf Channel feels it's important to have an individual champion crowned on Monday night. So that's why we're doing it. And they control the strings. And I understand that. They've done a great thing for college golf. It's been a great draw. It's awesome. But, Dylan had a chance that last day to go for the green and maybe make a 3 or 4 at the end of stroke play to improve his chances, maybe to 3rd or 4th in the nation. But he laid up because our team couldn't afford a big number. We were on the bubble, and he just had to make par, and we were in. So he took one for the team. And all good programs or all good leaders of teams do that. And it's unfortunate you have to compete. You have to choose between the two when you're coming down the stretch when it is a team event.
Well, Coach Small, it is an honor to talk with you, and it's a joy to watch your program every year. Keep it up, please, because it is truly a highlight of the season for a lot of Illini fans, and we always appreciate you answering the bell, win or lose, as well on our show, and appreciate the fact that everything you do for us as well. So, Coach, congratulations! Another great year. I'm already ready for next season. Let's get it done.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And actually, I was back in the office today. We're trying to figure out next year already. I told the guys, and they left that. We're already over it. We're starting to plan for next year. So that's why we do it, and thanks for all your support. Appreciate
I love it.
Thanks,
You're
Coach.
welcome, Coach. Mike Small, Illini golf coach. Always a pleasure to visit with Coach. Always a pleasure to get his information on different things. Yeah. And the thing of all that interview that stuck out to me was him talking about some of the way that the team kind of got away from how they practice and prepare. And what he meant by that, and when you're really good at golf, which I'm not, but I hear guys talk about is, when you're aiming for a green, this is something the average casual fan doesn't think about. You want every shot to be right on the pin. These guys a lot of times are saying, all right, I know that I want to be putting uphill to this hole. I don't want to be putting downhill because that could lead to a 2 or 3 putt and really put me in trouble. And to kind of grasp the idea that maybe this team a little bit got away from that, it's impressive to hear.
For one round.
For one round, right?
A round that was the second round of the day.
Without a doubt.
I was tired as heck.
Jeremy,
I did 1.5 rounds.
Yes.
And I probably walked 10, 12 miles.
Yeah, without carrying a bag.
Yeah, without carrying a bag. Now, I had a backpack on and a camera bag.
Right.
So I probably had like 10, 12 pounds on me. But it was like, I'm sitting there going, I am dead.
Yeah, and you're in shape.
I went to bed just like that last night. And I can't imagine. And I know they're Division I athletes, but that doesn't seem right.
And then
if you want quality golf,
yes,
right?
And then for a lot of those days, guess what? Let's get to bed because we're back up at 4 a.m. to do it all again tomorrow. 3 rounds of
stroke play is fine.
Yep. And I don't want to hear the people, and I don't want to make it about this.
It's not an Illinois excuse.
No.
But for all those kids,
yes.
Like I almost feel bad for the other Vanderbilt.
Sure.
They're the best team in the country all year long.
How about some of these kids? How about West Coast kids that people that travel to the Midwest from the West Coast, like USC, the team you faced? They're getting up at 4 a.m. Guess what? That's 2 a.m. for them in their body. Now you can't control those things, and that happens. And I'm sure there's listeners out there that are saying, "Oh, come on, guys, they're getting up and golfing." But until you walked that course and you play at that competitive of a level, which you and I don't, obviously, but to have the mental breakdown of every shot and to have to do that over and over, it's too much. And I like the fact that Mike Small agreed to that, and I think it would be better golf. Not that it would aid Illinois. I have no idea if that would aid Illinois. But I think it would be better golf if they did it like that. And I even thought to myself the same thing. Why not just finish after Sunday? That's a perfect, right? It all fits. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, boom. You start match play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's still 6 days. It's still great TV for the Golf Channel. And then you get guys that are at least a little bit rested playing for a national title.
We'll make the Cardinals great again tomorrow because we don't have enough time to do this today. So we'll spend some more time on that.
You mean I get to do more homework tonight?
Yes. Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer, are going to join us at 5:25 to talk about the big man that is visiting Illinois today. Greg Eboig-Bowden.
Okay. I'm going to have that figured out.
Can you say it?
Greg Eboig-Bowden.
Bowden.
I kind of tried to go Australian there. Greg What is it again?
Eboig-Boden.
Greg Eboig-Boden.
There you go.
That's not that bad. Greg Eboig-Boden.
It looks hard.
I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah.
Did you even write it down on the sheet of paper? Because I don't even want to look at it.
I didn't. So we'll talk to him about that. Coming up next, though, Austin put together a next question.
Nice.
We'll get to a bunch of topics going on in sports, but if you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. Nicole Evans named a All-American.
Awesome.
Congratulations to the stud softball player who 349 average, 18 home runs this past year. Phenomenal year for her.
She deserved it.
Illini softball. And Illinois State just landed a player that I find really intriguing. We've talked about on this show.
In basketball.
Yes. Basketball.
Okay, we'll visit on that all next. 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
I spent a lot of the day following a lot of the social media reaction, first to what should baseball do about Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper, and then after it happened, what did they do? Buster Olney tweeted, the Giants lose Hunter Strickland for 1 to 3 innings. The Nationals lose Bryce Harper for 36 innings and something in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 at bats. The baseball players clearly don't want it out of the sport, and that's fine. But the reality is, if that pitch hits Harper the wrong way, okay, I get it. It hits him in the hip. He hit him the way you're supposed to hit him.
He actually did, yes.
But he's as big a star as they have. That thing hits him in the wrong way, and all of a sudden he's got like a broken femur or something like that over something this ridiculous. It strikes me as crazy. You wouldn't put up with this in the NBA with their stars, and yet in baseball somehow it seems to be acceptable.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Missing that spring in your step? Maybe it's time to stop tossing and turning on your old mattress. Time for a new bed. A Sleep Number bed adjusts to your own individualized comfort and support. And it's built to last 25 years, but costs about the same as a traditional mattress. In fact, 9 out of 10 Sleep Number owners recommend it. And you can only find it at a Sleep Number store. Oh, and right now, it's the lowest price ever on our temperature balancing i8 bed. Save $700. Ends Sunday. For research information and to find one of our 550 stores nationwide, go to sleepnumber.com.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver, Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing in relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hey Cardinals fans, have you thought about making a trip to St. Louis with your family? Well, the perfect time to do it is coming up, the weekend of June 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's the Ritz Kickoff to Summer Weekend, and it's loaded with great promotions. Friday, June 9th, it's the Orlando Cepeda Bobblehead, presented by AAA Missouri. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home the bobblehead of the 1967 MVP. Saturday, June 10th, the adult all-over print shirt. It's a full-button shirt that's celebrates being a fan of the Cardinals. You can wear it with pride. Sunday, June 11th, all kids 15 and younger receive the Rawlings Kids Baseball Glove. That day's also a Six Flags Day and a Family Attractions card giveaway. It's the weekend of June 9th, 10th, and 11th. The Cardinals take on the Phillies. Great giveaways for you. Make the trip to Busch Stadium. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/music. That's ZipRecruiter.com/music for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/music.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What'll he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lonte, Jeremy Werner, Austin Berkland's joined us in studio. We'll have the update and some next question here in a bit. We'll also go to the phone lines. I want to correct myself. I said the Scheffler kid from Texas won it. That was my bad. He was leading like the entire round, and then he ended up losing that late. So what was the kid's name that won it? Like Thornberry or something?
I believe so.
So that's my bad on that end. But yes, it is.
Braden Thornberry of Ole Miss won it by 4 strokes.
It is just kind of funny that it's just one of those situations where it's like, okay.
When your team's not competing to get into the match play, it's a lot easier those individuals have a different kind of approach, right? They're not playing for a team, so they can be more aggressive.
They can be more aggressive. That's exactly right.
I did want to throw this out there that Dylan Meyer will be playing he got an exemption, sponsors exemption for the John Deere Classic.
Awesome.
Otherwise known as the John Deere Illini Classic.
Right.
A lot of Illini in that game.
That's great.
And Illinois State has landed Loyola transfer, gosh, I lost it right now.
Loyola, speaking of them, as you find that, they are bringing
Matt Chastain.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Chastain from Leroy. He's going to go to Illinois State. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. Will sit out next year as a transfer.
That makes sense, right? Because that's kind of where we thought maybe he should go, or we wanted him to go.
And Loyola didn't block an interconference transfer.
That's interesting. And I know Porter Moser, you and I have talked about that. He's putting up some big numbers there, and he's got a nice recruiting class coming in.
Still haven't heard Jalen Coleman-Lands announced yet, which we asked Josh Whitman about, will he block transfers?
Right.
I think that's what we're waiting for.
Okay. No, that's interesting. All right, we're going to head to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. A couple of calls. Brad from the Champagne Room. What's up, Brad?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much, my friend. What are you up to?
So we were doing the quick math today because I don't know about you guys, but my legs and feet are killing me after this week. Lots of walking out at Rich Harvest Farms. It was about 6 miles round trip from the first tee box to the 18th hole. So I hope you guys are, did your stretches this morning to break up the lactic acid in your legs.
I lost a little weight, maybe. So that's the key there, right? That is it's a long tournament, Brad. No doubt about it.
Well, and as many fans showed up, Brad, we were talking about it. That course not exactly spectator friendly. It's probably the most open, spread out course I've ever been
on. Yeah. Easy.
Absolutely. And some of the viewing areas that they had put up for the event were a little questionable. The ropes were kind of farther away from greens than, maybe some other tournaments that you'll see. Like the John Deere Classic, there are some instances where you're maybe only 2 or 3 feet away from the putting surface. So, an interesting venue, but a great one for match play. Obviously, we saw a lot of matches turn very quickly at the beginning of rounds and at the end of rounds. So it was a great atmosphere to be out there for an experience. And that's the reason for my call. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Of
nice.
Course. The reason is because you guys were out there firsthand. I mean, you were out there on Friday to do the show, and again, Lon, great to meet you, and Jeremy, great to meet you out on property. But I wanted to get your take on. I wanted to get Tay's take on what it was like to experience a golf event like that in person. You see a lot of match play events like the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, live on TV. But you get a match play event like the NCAA tournament in person. You're hearing the roars go up through the trees. You hear the noise coming from the home crowd and the fans. Just talk to us a little bit about what it was like to experience that, and if you would recommend that to kind of your average golf fan over maybe your traditional tournament. Again, great to meet you guys, and love the show. Keep up the good work.
Ditto, Brad. We appreciate it, buddy. And by the way, somebody texted in to ask an update Oklahoma and Oregon now playing for the national title. Oklahoma up 3-2. Right now, it looks like they're almost through the front 9, essentially. So that's that. Now, I was only there for stroke play.
Can we get to Larry, and then after the update, we'll answer Brad's questions.
Great idea.
I just want to keep this on schedule.
Sounds good. Larry is in Champaign. How you doing, Larry?
Hey, guys, doing good. Thanks. I'll try and make this quick. I'm just an old wrestling guy, but I do enjoy golf, and I've enjoyed keeping track of the Illini golf team this year. Number one, 36 holes with so much at stake is just way too much. Yep. Now, what we did in wrestling, they went to a dual meet championship as well as the individual championships, and they tried to do it all in the same weekend at first, and it was a mess. They finally separated it, so the individuals go the first weekend, and that's really the crown jewel of wrestling.
Right.
And then the dual meets are held the following weekend. So by separating it, it kind of didn't take away one from the other. So I know wrestling and golf are completely different, but we kind of went through the same thing. So just wanted to throw that in there and maybe an idea for the golfers.
Okay, appreciate that, Larry.
You could do it at 2 different places.
You could, except that, you would obviously be taking away a guy like Dylan Meyer being able to win an individual title.
No, you do the individual one weekend.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Doing a different, I thought you meant the same
course,
weekend.
And then, have the, you could have 2 different meets, 2 different weekends.
Absolutely, you could.
And absolutely do that. I think, these guys are golfers. They can do that. They can travel to 2 different places, and I think that's a better way of doing it.
It is funny because, you'd have a lot of the, you're out of school now. Right? Mm-hmm. So these kids are out of school, so you'd have the time, essentially, as long as they don't care about doing it. Real quick, to touch on Brad's.
Well, I want to do that after the update.
Oh, after the next. Yeah. Oh, the update. Okay, I got you. All right. I'm kind of just stay along. You tell me what to do. Here we go. It's time. Update time.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with your 430 Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote and get 25% off their mosquito program. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. This is from Jim Benson. He is reporting Matt Chastain, a Leroy native, will transfer from Loyola to Illinois State. He will sit out this year and have 3 years of eligibility left. The Illini golf team fell in the semifinals to Oklahoma yesterday evening. The Illini took losses from Liparelli, Tadiato, and Fiegels. The Illini finished ranked 8th in the country according to NGCAA rankings. Illini basketball is hosting a 6'9" big man, Greg Eboig Bowden from Detroit Jesuit on a visit. Eboig Bowden was a UIC commit. He had offers from DePaul, Detroit, and Loyola. Breaking news, the Illini football team has a game time, and this one is for the October 28th game in Memorial Stadium against Wisconsin. That game time will be 11 a.m. This is the third game time announced. The other 2 are as follows: October 7th at Iowa at 11 a.m., October 21st at Minnesota at 3:30 or 4 p.m. 5 straight losses for the Cubs is a thing now. The Cubs fell to the San Diego Padres last night, 6-2. Kyle Schwarber and Wilson Contreras brought in both runs for Chicago. The Cubs look to avoid the sweep of the Padres, and the score of that game is 1-1 in the top of the 8th. The Dodgers continue their domination in the NL Central after a 9-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals last night. 7 different Dodgers brought in runs versus the Birds. They play again tonight, and it's Rio versus Martinez. Carlos has struck out 14 batters in the last 16 and third innings. Listen to the game right here on ESPN-CU at 7:15. If you were expecting a pitcher's duel versus Sale and Quintana, then you were sorely mistaken. The final score of that game was 13-7. Sale gave up 5 earned runs in 5 innings. Quintana only lasted 2 2/3 innings and gave up 10 hits and 7 earned runs. And that, my friends, is the update.
Brad asked us what we thought of the spectator aspect of it. Match play, phenomenal.
Yes.
Because you hear the roars of crowds. You kind of can update on your phone.
Right.
Kind of hear who's the big match, and you can kind of go between the matches as you wish. I mean, some people decide to go one hole, you stay there for all 5 players,
absolutely,
and then you can move on, or you stick with a guy. I liked bouncing around a little bit. Which matches were close on the back 9, going to those, but match play from me would be way better than just the individual stroke play. individual stroke play, if you're following one golfer, that's great. But team play, I love match play.
Without a doubt. And it's hard to watch golf in person.
Yes.
It's hard. I mean, it's not hard to watch it. It's
you
fun to
gotta
watch
commit to something.
That's correct. You either have to follow one guy or get to a hole and watch all 5 or whatever there is go through. I wasn't there for the match, only stroke play twice, but I have been to a Ryder Cup where it is match play, and there's nothing like it because of the momentum that happens and the shifting of momentum that can happen like that.
Yeah.
And it happened, if everybody that's a golf fan and a Ryder Cup fan that remembers the Sunday at Ryder Cup up in Medina when the United States was in full control of that thing and Europe over about a 3 or 4 hole span took a lead and took the momentum away. And it was so weird to be a part of that, especially on your home soil, to watch the Europeans just take control of that. And that was one thing we talked about yesterday, Jeremy, with watching the Oklahoma-Illinois match. I kept saying to Carp, I'm like, if they could just get on a roll here for 1 or 2 holes and get the crowd into it. And the reason is, if you heard a crowd out there, it was for Illinois. So if you're an Oklahoma golfer 2 holes ahead and you hear a roar, you know mentally in your mind, uh-oh.
I got to do something.
That's not us.
Right.
You know, that's Illinois. So it's tough, but I love match play. I love the fact that these guys go head-to-head. Listen, these kids are competitors.
Yeah.
They don't mind it. They love that.
A little bit of Cardinals news. Jerko is going to take paternity leave Friday and Saturday, back for a game Sunday. Matt Carpenter batting second tonight, and Jonathan Broxton has been released.
Well,
there you go.
There's nothing wrong with that. You also mentioned something about Michael Wacha with regards to, was it his mom that had some health issues?
No, Stephen Piscotty.
Oh, Stephen Piscotty. My fault.
He told reporters he's been gone for personal reasons. His mom has been diagnosed with ALS. That's really difficult.
Horrible to hear that. We hate to hear that. So Broxton released. It's
John Gant's up.
John Gant, okay, a kid that they traded with Atlanta. They came over in that trade with Atlanta, so good stuff there. All right, we're going to do the Mettler Center injury report coming up soon. Is John Gross on the line?
Next question.
He is.
Still got time for us. It's kind of nice.
It's unbelievable that guy, even from Akron, does it. All right, Austin, what do you got, my friend?
All right, first one. Which sports city is closest to a Boston-like run?
This is interesting.
I want to go Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Golden State Warriors,
right?
Well, they're moving to San Francisco, but Bay Area, you go Bay Area here. And the Raiders, I think, have a great chance, but they're going to be gone.
Right?
But how soon? Like, are they going to be gone in 2 or 3 years with the Vegas thing up in the air? I think it could be Oakland. But do I go to Cleveland?
Well, I was going to say, how about Cleveland?
I'm going to buy Oakland. For the next 3 years, I'm going Oakland in the Bay Area.
I think, listen, the Indians, I'm not sure if that wasn't their chance last year, so that makes it hard for them. And obviously, of course, the Cavaliers are so good. I don't know. There's really not a...
I mean, could it be Chicago with the Blackhawks and Cubs?
Possibly. And the White Sox coming on here, maybe in the next 3-4 years. And there's really not a...
and the Bears.
Mitchell Trubisky. Forgot about the Bears. There's not really a city out there that's grabbing hold of all this.
Can we just say Boston?
Can we just stay with them?
The Red Sox, Patriots, and...
Unbelievable.
Celtics now.
Celtics could be really good in a couple of years.
How about Nashville? They're going to win one thing, maybe.
Yeah, the Titans might be pretty good.
Yeah, the Titans could be good.
Next question.
Which rental trade piece has hurt his value the most?
And this is talking baseball here. Which rental trade piece has hurt his trade value the most?
I mean, we could say Quintana. I don't know if his price has changed as much as we think it has.
Okay.
Because, I mean, yes, he's had not ideal start. I mean, he had 3 bad games to start, had a great next 40 innings, and then 2 bad starts in a row. So maybe teams are more like, hey, you're asking the moon for this guy. He's good, but he's still on a great contract. Right? And no matter what, he's going to pitch 200 innings a year, and most of it's going to be good.
Yes.
And he's on a $5 million, or I mean, he's going to make, $9, $10, $11 million over the next couple of years.
That's unreal.
It's unreal compared to what he'd make on the open market, which is $20 to $25 million a year. I mean, we see what Mike Leake made, and he's good. I know he's had him a better season now, but over their careers, he's been better. It's Quintana.
It's not even close,
So I still think we react way too much to a start or two, a couple starts, when GMs look at 3 to 4 years of experience.
How about Jose Bautista?
He's having a nice couple weeks.
Kind of starting to come back.
8 home runs last month.
So he could be a guy that early on it seemed like he wasn't clicking, but Toronto wasn't clicking early on, and now he's starting to click.
It might be Quintana from the White Sox perspective of saying, okay, if we're going to trade him, he might be more at the bottom market than we thought.
Fair enough.
Next question.
Which Illini sports team will win the next national title?
It's golf. I think it's golf. I mean, volleyball, I think with Thomas here, it's going to be fun to watch him put together this. But Kevin Hambley did such a great job and played at an elite level.
I'm going gymnastics, men's gymnastics.
Okay. I'm going to go golf.
I mean, I'm just being kind of contradictory here, but I do think golf has a great chance. I just think it's easier to win a gymnastics title.
Well, I think so, too.
I mean, they're going to be a top 5
teams.
team every year.
Yep. Without a doubt, and it's interesting to see the Big Ten get better too.
And it's a little less fluky.
Yes, it is.
Totally match
agree.
Play makes golf a little fluky too.
One of these days for Illinois golf, it's going to happen.
Next question.
Where is the next big recruiting pipeline for Illini football?
I think they'll add more from St. Louis. I think they'll add more from Texas, but I'm going to the Tampa area. I mean, they got 7 recruits out of Florida last year, and that's where Lovie Smith's from. It's from a lot of these guys have experience. Hardy Nickerson's name's big there. Lovie Smith's name's big there. I'm going Tampa.
Okay, and I'm going to go. I was thinking more of this and thinking, all right, Florida's already in. So I'm going to go Texas. I think they're going to slowly start putting some pieces together in Texas, and I'd be fine with that. If you can get 3 or 4, or let's say 2 or 3 guys out of Texas each year, I'd be fine with that.
Next question.
What will Illini basketball's rebounding margin look like?
Oh, you went right to my heart here, didn't you?
Yes.
I'm scared to death of defense and rebounding on this next year's Illinois basketball team. I know that Brad Underwood is a master of putting together rebounding squads. He did it at Stephen F. Austin, and that team that was
offensive rebounds.
Yeah, offense was really good.
I think offensive rebounds will be great.
Yeah, but
defensive rebounds can be a struggle.
They're going to be out rebounded.
Are we
you
talking
need a
Big
margin
10?
here, don't you?
Yeah, out of the Big Ten.
So being out rebounded in a game, I'll say, man, I don't want to go too far, but I would almost go
-4.
I was going to say 6.
I'll go 4.
Okay.
I'll go -4.
Man, I think if it's only -4, I would be happy.
Yeah,
I really
think
would.
You'll be pleasantly surprised by their competitiveness on that end.
Because I sit there and look at that team and like, who's going to rebound? But yet, Allstork, Smith, those kids have big bodies for 6'5", so hopefully they can get some boards.
Next question.
If you could make an upgrade to the fan experience at State Farm Center or Memorial Stadium, what would it be?
I just want to say Oklahoma State +4 in the rebound margin last year. And they were a small team.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think we both went way too high there.
Maybe we did.
Yeah.
Brad Underwood's
way too
listening.
negative.
Yeah, Brad's listening and going, really, guys? Yeah. I don't know. I look at 6'10", your tallest guy, and
Ron, you're the fan here. How would you upgrade the fan experience?
Man, that's a hard question to ask just right now.
Beer at games.
Beer would be nice
to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
beer at games.
That's the normal response. That beer at games. I honestly love. I don't go to many basketball games as a fan, but at football, I love the fan experience. I really do. I'm not sure what I would change. That's a hard one. That'd be a good discussion segment one day, Austin. That'd be a good one for
Next question.
Are super teams bad for the NBA?
No.
I think for the casual fan that they're saying, "Oh, the NBA, I'm not interested in it." You're all going to watch the NBA Finals.
I'm a casual fan, and I'm more interested in the NBA because of these two teams than I would be if there were just a normal team.
I think it's great.
Yes,
I think
I've watched less NBA playoffs this year than any.
Yes, but you would be glued to the TV for the NBA Finals.
True.
And everybody will be talking about it. Right?
True.
Everybody's going to watch Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James go at it. These are going to be epic series every time. They have been so far. We're all interested in it, setting ratings records the last couple of years. So everyone wants to say this is a problem, and then they watch it.
I agree 100%. And we've always had this, right? We had it with the Lakers Celtics. We had it with the Bulls didn't really have
Detroit Pistons, LA Lakers in 2004.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Nets Lakers.
Yeah.
Were you watching that when we had more competitive NBA?
Pistons Lakers was awesome.
Yeah.
It was, but it didn't get people into it. If you're an NBA fan, you're going to watch it.
Yes.
But if you're a casual sports fan, you're going to watch the heck out of these finals.
Agree. Totally agree. And you know what? The NBA is as popular as ever right now, and you're seeing there's got to be a reason why. There's got to be a correlation between these two. Last one, if you don't mind, Austin.
Next question.
Who you got? Cavs or Warriors?
I got Warriors in 6.
I'm going to go Warriors in 6 as well. I don't think the Cavs are going to get blown out in this by any means.
I mean, they were up 3-1 last year, and they added Kevin Durant.
Yeah, right. I think it's going to be interesting
LeBron
to see
James
how the Cavs battle.
James forces a competitive series. I mean, Kyrie and Kevin Love are playing well. They defend really well. It's going to be a series, but I mean, the Warriors are just too loaded.
Without a doubt. Austin, thank you, sir.
Not a problem.
John Gross, thank you.
Next question.
Good stuff. When we return, it's the Mettler Center Injury Report. We're going to talk about Mike Trout. Out of baseball for a couple of months with an injury. That is not right. It's the Tay and J Show.
The sounds of spring and the smell of flowers in the air. They all add up to Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team. That lush green lawnscape is a result of a reputation earned through consistent performance. They become your favorite through quality service and professionalism. Spring Green will service and maintain your lawnscape with seeding, aeration, fertilizing, weed reduction, disease, and insect control. Now the ease and trouble-free convenience of Spring Green's professional lawn care's full program is yours at savings of 20% for new customers. It's backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Over 32 years of satisfied customers reflect their commitment to Champaign-Urbana and the Mattoon-Charleston area. Call Spring Green at 217-359-2111 or online at spring-green.com at 217-359-2111.
You want what's best for your family, and what's better than a home equity loan or line of credit with no closing costs? Apply for a home equity loan or line at First Financial Bank before June 3rd and you'll pay no closing costs. Remodel the house, get a pool for the kids, buy a new car, or take a vacation. Whatever your family needs, your home's equity can make it happen, and First Financial makes it affordable. What could be better than that? Offer subject to credit approval. Property insurance required. Valid on applications before June 3rd. Other restrictions may apply. See first-online.com/equity for details. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call Matex Heating and Cooling to take advantage of Train's Weather Any Season sale. Weather Any Season sale. Choose between special financing for 6 years or special trade-in allowances on qualifying Train systems. Call 355-9700 or visit us online at mattexservice.com for more information. It's hard to stop a train. Any season, any weather. Matex Heating and Cooling, servicing East Central Illinois.
Subject to credit approval. Call for details.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
When you're heading home, Tay and Jay are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Those pesky San Diego Padres. The White Sox of the NL.
That's right. They're way worse than us. I mean, we have actual major leaguers on our roster.
And they're about ready to sweep the Cubs, maybe. That's scary.
All right, it's time for the Mettler Center Injury Report with Doctor of Physical Therapy, Matthew Gordon, joining us to talk about the best player in baseball will be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
Mike Trout out with a UCL tear in his thumb. We've had a lot of thumb injuries on this show, it feels like, Matthew, with Yadi Molina, a couple others. But what is a UCL tear in the thumb, and why is he out for so long for a thumb injury?
Yeah, so with the UCL, so basically this is a ligament that's located in the thumb, and this is actually one of the main ligaments of your thumb. It gives you a lot of the stability that joint has. We talked about this before. You referenced perfectly with Yadi. So basically, if you're looking at your hand with the palm facing away from you, and you take your thumb and you try to pinch it in, that's what that ligament is helping stabilize. It's helping to control that pinching motion. So as a batter, Trout is right-handed, correct?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so as a right-handed batter, as you're getting ready to swing through, you're taking that bat and you're driving through, and you're really relying on your left hand for that follow-through. But it's mostly that pinch grip that you have to be able to do. And so if you can't even bring stably that thumb in towards your index finger, that's going to hurt quite a bit as you have that contact. That's going to hurt a lot when you're trying to either catch the ball or when you're trying to do anything dynamic that requires that pinch grip. And so I know initially for him they had looked at specifically at, can we get by without doing this surgery? But apparently the tear was big enough that they have to do the surgery, and it just takes a long time for that ligament to heal up. And it's so important because without it, you can't grip a bat, you can't follow through. You're going to start having pain with every swing, which means you're going to change your mechanics. And the last thing you want for a guy hitting like this is for him to change his mechanics.
30 seconds. Is there any kind of physical therapy for this, or is it just rest?
So post-surgery, what you're wanting to happen is you just want that guy to heal up. As it's starting to heal up, that's where you can start doing intrinsic strengthening of the muscles that are in the hand itself. Once you've got that, then the next biggest thing is regaining motion. That's where the PT helps the most, because you got to regain the motion not only of that joint but of that muscle, because even once it's fixed on the inside, if it can't do its normal stuff, if it can't move and it can't grip and it can't pinch normally, the surgery was pointless. It's giving someone a perfectly functioning thumb that doesn't function. So that's where the PT comes in here.
Well done.
Great information as always. If you have an ache or pain like Mike Trout, you can get a free consultation. Just go to MetLifeCenter.com for more information. Matthew, always appreciate the time.
Very welcome. Have a great day, guys.
You too, buddy. Good stuff there. All right, next hour, Derek Piper talking some Illini basketball. There's a big man on campus.
Blake Bowden. Also, the White Sox just announced Hawk Harrelson will return for the 2018 year. It'll be his final year in the broadcast booth.
I keep waiting for that information about Mike Shannon.
Yeah.
With the Cardinals, because I assume he'll do the same thing. All right, back with some basketball when we return. It's the Tay and J Show. Dough is the original calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
Need an oil change? See your Champaign CarX man. Right now at CarX Tire and Auto, get a full-service oil change starting at $24.99 with tire rotation and brake inspection. From oil changes to engine repair and everything in between, CarX Tire and Auto has been serving Champaign for almost 40 years with 3 convenient locations. Your Champaign CarX man has the right oil for your vehicle at a great price, $24.99. Stop in, call, or schedule online at CarX.com.
Don't worry, call the CarX man. Experience what makes Eastland Suites the best.
Like unique accommodations for guests who need extended stays, full kitchens, patio and balcony access, and grills in the courtyard for cookouts.
Extended stay guests also love the free Wi-Fi, fitness center, and complimentary hot buffet breakfast.
And Tanya, don't forget about the full-service lobby bar, large swimming pool, and the free shuttle, and the...
Experience the best. Experience Eastland Suites. Book online at eastlandsuitesurbana.com.
The Snyder Company.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
News. The House Intelligence Committee has issued several subpoenas, 3 of them focusing on unmasking activities.
Each one of those subpoenas, we are told, explicitly referenced 3 former senior officials from the Obama administration as figures of interest, if you will, in the unmasking probe. Those 3 officials are Susan Rice, the former White House National Security Advisor, John Brennan, the former CIA director, and most interestingly, Samantha Power, the former UN ambassador whose name has not previously surfaced.
Fox's James Rosen, former Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, downplaying the significance of the investigation into her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State.
This was the biggest nothing burger ever. It was a mistake. I've said it was a mistake. And obviously, if I got to turn the clock back, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. But the way that it was used was very damaging.
Clinton, speaking at a conference in California, also accused President Trump of guiding Russian efforts to keep her out of the White House. President Trump is expected to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord, but a final decision hasn't been made yet.
He consulted with foreign leaders, but he's talked to industry leaders. He's had a lot of input, and ultimately he'll make the decision.
White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker is one of the leaders President Trump met with last week. He says European leaders tried to explain the process of withdrawing from the agreement, but Juncker says the president doesn't completely understand the terms of the climate accord. Stocks close lower, the Dow losing 20 points, S&P slipping 1 point, NASDAQ down 4 points. Michael Kors announcing it's closing over 100 stores because of declining sales. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
President Trump has spoken with the president of Afghanistan, strongly condemning the truck bomb that killed nearly 100 people in Kabul.
A sewage tanker truck loaded with explosives blew up outside the heavily fortified Green Zone, where several embassies are located. The Taliban denied responsibility for the attack, though it has carried out other massive bombings recently. It's possible today's bombing was the work of ISIS, an attack that left a 13-foot deep crater and men, women, and children dead. In Jerusalem, John Huddy, Fox News.
Several Americans are among the wounded. The UN Security Council and the Secretary General condemning that attack as heinous and cowardly and demanding that those responsible be brought to justice. Grammy-winning country artist Chris Stapleton is postponing several upcoming concert dates, including an appearance at CMA Fest.
Stapleton has been on the road with his All-American Roadshow tour. However, according to a post on his website, the next 3 weeks of the tour are not happening for now. The statement saying, "We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause." However, it doesn't state a reason for the postponement, just adding, "Hold on to your tickets for now and stay tuned for updates." The singer was forced to postpone a concert last year in California because of vocal issues. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Kathy Griffin will have to find another place to spend New Year's Eve. CNN has yanked the comedian from its coverage after she posted a gory Twitter video displaying what looked like President Trump's bloody severed head. Despite an apology, Griffin lost the co-hosting gig she's had for 10 years. President Trump tweeting that Griffin should be ashamed of herself. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
So we were talking about fads for kids.
Bottle flips.
And I was just doing, you mentioned bottle flips.
Yeah.
And my second one got it. For second time I've ever done it in my life. Is that good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, cool.
Because it seems
I'm
like it takes
from bottle
Andrew
flipping.
an hour. And I'm like, if you flip that bottle one more time, I got my fidget spinner. I'm gonna let it run during weather.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, clear, low of 52. Thursday, beautiful, sunny, clear, high 79, low of 57. Friday, chance of thunderstorms, high 83, low of 67. Right now, sunny, clear, beautiful summer day. 77 in Champaign-Urbana. It is drive time, presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com. Lante, this will recap the first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
Well, we started talking Illini golf. We had quite the weekend, you and I both. We did our show up there at Sugar Grove at Rich Harvest Farms, not Rich Hill Farms. I called it that yesterday. Old Rich Hill's on my mind.
Rich Hill can afford a couple farms now after signing that deal in the offseason.
Yes, he can, and he's been on my mind as he dominates the Cardinals and the Cubs. But started talking about that. We were there Friday. I was there Sunday. You were there yesterday for match play. Just how fun that was and how cool it was for an Illini team that I don't think they ever what's the word I'm looking for? They just reload. They don't rebuild. Yeah. And for this team to do what they did, to make it to the Final Four, yeah, they ran out of steam there against Oklahoma, who just could not miss a putt, as Mike Small talked about when he joined us. But they certainly gave us another highlight, as the Illinois golf team does. It seems like every year, Jeremy, especially every year we've had this radio show.
Yeah, and I could tell, not a lot of people invest too much in following Illini golf. I mean, it's usually around May, April that people really start paying attention to it. But I could tell you are really passionate, and you were really hurt when they lost yesterday.
I did. I think it's because I want it so bad for Small. I want an Illinois basketball championship for me. I want an Illinois football championship for me. When it comes to these, I don't want to say smaller sports, but what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, the baseball regional. Yeah, non-revenue sports.
Yeah, non-revenue. That's always the word I forget, that little phrase. But I want that so bad for Mike Small because in my mind, he's the best coach in the country, and yet he's got that little issue of, I don't have a national title.
But Mike just joined us at 4:05 and said he wants to win.
Oh,
sure. He's an ultimate competitor.
Sure.
He said it doesn't bother him. I feel like you think he needs it to validate himself, and he doesn't.
I don't think it's that. I just want it for him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's to validate him. I think everybody in the country understands how good of a coach he is and how he's brought a Northern program to a top, to a blue blood, essentially.
They've made 3 straight Final Fours in 4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They got a national runner-up in 2013. I don't know if they're going to win it. I think they're going to have plenty of chances to because this isn't going anywhere.
No.
They lose Lipparelli.
Yep.
But they return 2 of the top 10 golfers in the country next year. They're going to have 2 freshmen who just learned a bunch this past year. Brian Baumgarten is a really talented kid, too, who didn't even play this year.
No. That's
towards the end
part
of the year. And then they have more recruits, including Riley, who's a top 35 recruit in the country.
Yep.
So they're just going to have another chance next year. They'll probably make match play because that's what they do.
That's
and once you
exactly
get
right.
there, it's kind of a toss-up.
It is.
2 years ago, they lost to a really talented USC team. Or that would be 3 years ago. 2 years ago, last year, they lost to the team that was hosting and ended up winning the national championship and is in the national championship again today.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yeah.
And when Thomas Peters and that crew got to the national runner-up, that was a surprise.
It was.
Because they had just lost Guthrie and Langley.
It really was.
So you never know, but every year they're going to have a chance because they have Mike Small at the helm, and I think he will win one.
And there is, and for me, honestly, I want to see it for the kids. I want to see it for Mike Small. I want it for them to experience that national title. And hell, as an Illini fan, I want to win a national title. So that would just update us another stat that it's been a while since Illinois has won a national title. They did it in tennis. They did it in gymnastics. I think those are the 2.
That long way.
Well, no, that's true. Twice in gymnastics during my lifetime.
Yeah.
So gymnastics twice and tennis once. I'd love to see this team in my lifetime win it.
It's the best program you have.
Without a doubt. And it would be fun to see. And it was fun to visit with Mike Small. If you didn't get a chance to hear that, you definitely want to get our podcast on ESPNCU.com. We interviewed Mike in the second hour. It is worth listening to. He's awesome. He also said, Jeremy, and I think you and I agreed because we sat there and walked that course, it's too much. And it was not an excuse. I asked the question. He didn't bring it up. It's too much golf in 6 days for these kids.
It's not an Illinois problem.
No.
Every team has to go through it, but I mean, the golf wasn't that great in the afternoon yesterday.
That's correct.
It really wasn't all that great day 4 of stroke play. I mean, these kids there's a lot of golf over just a couple days, but that 2 matches in one day is just ridiculous. Mike said he'd like to see 3 rounds of stroke play
awesome.
and then 3 rounds, 1 each day of match play. And that makes too much sense, but hey, TV's going to get what they want.
Sometimes it makes too much sense.
We also talked about Illinois hosting a big man. Derek Piper's going to join us in about 15 minutes to break down Greg Eboigboden.
Good soccer player from Nigeria.
Greg Eboigboden is on campus today. 6'9" big man out of Detroit Jesuit High School, University of Detroit Jesuit High School. 6'9", had signed with UIC under assistant Chin Coleman, but got his release in April. Averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game as a senior for a state championship winning team. He's long, he's mobile, he can block some shots, and he can rebound. Looks like a bit of a project, of course.
Okay. Well, and if more than anything, for next year, if they're able to land him, he adds a little depth, obviously, to a spot that you need it. Now, the question there is, do you commit 4 years to this kind of a kid, to a project?
You got to trust your coach at this point.
That's exactly right.
They passed up Bruninga.
Yep.
They passed up some other potential big man. So if they offer this kid, I would expect them to get him.
Okay.
I do expect them to get him.
Got it.
then that's what they want. And it fits what they need, which is a long and mobile big man. He's not 6'5" post player like Ibby Jim Day was. Right? I mean, he's got the skills that they want, the tools that they want. He's from Nigeria, played soccer most of his life, really didn't focus on basketball until 2013.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a guy to impact next year, a Boyd Bowden might be just a guy who gets a couple minutes. I'd love to get a grad transfer who can help him so he can redshirt.
Yes.
Right? And so that you don't have to play him right away and that he can be the long-term project that he likely is. But, I mean, if they think he's a good player, I think you got to trust their evaluation at this point, and then we'll see a couple years. But just based on his tools, he fits exactly what Illinois needs really badly.
Yes, big time. And I always find it interesting, these kids that start playing a sport late, you never know. You never know how they're going to pick it up and really start to maybe he could be really good.
They've offered a lot of kids that are originally from Africa.
Okay.
Like long, athletic guys that have played soccer before, that are focused on defense and rebounding.
Love it.
Have a higher ceiling, but Brad Underwood said, I want guys who can do one or two things really well.
Perfect.
We think we can teach them the rest of it or complement it with other players.
And I think you've got some guards on this squad for the next few years that can score.
Yeah.
So give me defense, give me rebounding right now. I'd be a happy guy. Happy Illini fan.
We also talked about what's wrong with the Cubs, and it's just gotten worse. They're now 2 games under 500. They lose to the Padres, get swept by the San Diego Padres.
I'm staring at Austin, and he's not staring back.
I mean, it's gotten to the level, like we kept asking, when do you get worried? It's time to get worried.
I agree with you. That's
This is a huge sample size. I mean, we aren't to Flag Day yet, but we are past Memorial Day, which is another good benchmark. We're a third through the season.
Well, and the maddening thing is you're sitting there worried about your pitching, and Jake Arrieta goes out and gives you a pretty good outing today, but yet you can't score
on the Padres
against San Diego. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And, if you're a Cardinals fan, you sit there and you think, man, the Cubs are so good. We have an ability here to get ahead of them, and they're playing just as bad.
And the Cardinals, their starters have been awesome, except for last night with Waka. Right. But their starters have been great, and they're 5-11 in the last 16 games, and their starter ERA is 3. It's the best in baseball during that time.
I'm just going to hit the reset button. I bet Austin will too come June 1.
Here's the good thing for you guys.
Hit the reset button. You're still in it.
Y'all stink. Right? The Brewers aren't winning this division.
No, they're not.
So y'all stink. Yeah, you just reset and go, okay, who's going to be the best over the next 110 games?
Stinky start, but we'll be fine. I think both teams will be fine. It'll be could be a fun summer.
We also talked a little bit about the NBA and the NBA Finals starting tomorrow night. I'm pumped because the NBA playoffs haven't been good to this point.
No, they haven't.
And we were talking about next question, are these super teams bad for the NBA? I don't think so because we're talking about the NBA a lot with these two teams. Is it bad if you're a Bulls fan, if you're a Clippers fan?
Right.
Maybe, but you're going to watch this NBA Finals.
Yeah. I mean, what would happen if, let's say, Golden State was this good and nobody else could challenge him? Then you'd get to the finals and it'd be like, well, that's kind of boring. Or if you had a really good San Antonio Spurs and a really good Golden State and nothing in the East, then it'd be like the championship would essentially be the Western Conference Finals. Don't forget, too, they're dropping the puck. Game 2 tonight, Pittsburgh and Nashville. Nashville had a 3-0 lead in Game 1 and lost that with Pekka Rinne late. So Pekka Rinne has been so good throughout this entire thing. And then
I thought the Penguins were up 3-0. The Penguins up 3-0, right?
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
You said the Predators.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Penguins are up 3-0.
That's my fault.
They tied. Nashville tied it up.
Nashville came back to tie it, and then Pekka Rinne gives up that softie.
The 3-0 lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey, right?
That's exactly right.
That's the thing. It doesn't make any sense, but
it was interesting. I'm sorry I said that wrong.
I thought it was 3-0.
It was 3-0.
No, but I thought. Wait, never mind.
Okay. Well, I thought they were down 3-0 in the game. Yes. Okay. Is that what you were talking about?
Whenever the Blackhawks got a 3-0 lead, everyone talked about the 3-0 lead is the worst lead in hockey.
Oh, I've never heard that.
All these guys saying 2-0. Whatever, hockey dudes.
Those stinking hockey people, right? Hey, that's drive time.
No, I'm going to make up myself. It's 3-0. It's the most dangerous lead in hockey.
I'll be honest with you. I love hockey as much as anybody in this building, and I've never heard that.
No, I think Harry loves it more than you.
I don't know.
He's
on it right now.
How much playoff hockey have you watched this year?
I've watched not as much this year. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Harry's watching every game every night.
He's new to the game, and he's loving it, and he's giving me the bow and arrow He's giving that to me in the other room. Yeah, no, I never heard that. But yes, they dropped the puck. Game 2 tonight. Should be interesting.
We got a text, false, not going to watch NBA Finals.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of anti-NBA people out there, and then they just set ratings records.
This just isn't a huge NBA area.
Right.
Let's just be honest. We're just not a lot of NBA fans around
it's everything
here.
That's wrong with basketball.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just people just aren't interested.
Watching basketball at a high-quality level is just terrible to watch.
Well, listen,
guys making millions of dollars doing what they're worth millions of dollars
I'm sure
for.
there's plenty out there that agree that or feel the same way about hockey. There's no doubt about it. This is a baseball area.
By the way, Hawk Harrelson also retiring after the 2018 season, only going to do 20 games next year.
Okay.
But he's the voice of my baseball life.
Yep.
So I love Hawk. It's time for him to go.
Right.
He's become a caricature of himself. It was fun growing up. The excitement he had, 2005 season was great.
Oh, yeah.
He's so passionate. I mean, it is going to be a little less colorful.
Mm-hmm.
But Jason Benetti is a pro. I think he's an enjoyable listen, especially, and I think he gets the most out of Steve Stone, who's one of the best baseball analysts. Benetti got a multi-year agreement with the White Sox, so happy for Jason. And Hawk, even though the last couple of years he's gotten the criticism he deserves, he's been a big part of my baseball life. And for White Sox fans, he's a lot like Mike Shannon is for Cardinals
Without a doubt.
fans.
And, baseball's the one sport that, and for a long time, you had to listen to it on the radio. Yeah. And it was the one sport that played for radio. And that's where you got this appreciation and you got a love for a guy like Ernie Harwell with the Detroit Tigers and Joe Buck and Vince Scully. And now you've got guys, and I certainly don't mean to put Hawk or Mike Shannon in those realm.
Right.
So I apologize for that, but I think you get my point. It is something, and it's holding on to a tradition like we've talked about. Mike Shannon, when he's not doing it anymore, that'll be the first time in my life that he hasn't broadcast that. It wasn't Jack Buck, I'm sorry, I meant Jack, not Joe. It'd be the first time in my life it's not Jack or Mike Shannon calling a Cardinals game.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I'm 46 years old, and when he's not doing it, that will be the first time in my life to not hear one of those guys.
Who is Greg Boyd Bowden, and why do the Illini want him, apparently? Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer, will join us next.
It is the Tay and J Show.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
How many times can we have the conversation? And yes, that includes me and Mel Kiper, my radio partner. We, on Saturday, had the conversation. We were about the 37,000th people to have it in the last couple of weeks, and I've heard it about 22,000 times since then. LeBron or Jordan, Jordan or LeBron. We had Brian Windhorst on the show with us Saturday and asked him, and he gave the most logical answer anybody has given. He said, I'm out of this conversation. And that's the right answer. LeBron's bigger, stronger, more athletic. Jordan's a shot maker, clutch, a deadly scorer. They're different. Jordan has 6 rings. LeBron has half of that. But LeBron's in his 8th finals. Jordan went to 6. Jordan played in an era without big 3s or big 4s, and consequently didn't play teams as loaded as these Warriors that LeBron has to deal with. They're different. The conversation should end. But it won't, because you're talking about the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. But it has no right answer. I'll go Jordan, but LeBron's gaining. But again, there's no right answer. That's not true. I'll tell you the perfect answer in 60 seconds.
The clock is ticking down. It's all on the line for the relentless pursuit of perfection. Tissot Swiss Watches delivers the precision and accuracy expected in your timepiece. This is finals time. This is winning time. This is your time. Tissot, official watch of the NBA Finals. Give the gift of time this Father's Day. Shop the Tissot collection available at Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, and Jared.com.
There are 2 things every parent wants when their child goes to college. For their child to do well and a way to afford it. Now, with Discover Student Loans, parents can have the best of both worlds. Not only do our loans cover up to 100% of school-certified costs with 0 fees, but we'll give them a cash reward for each new student loan if they earn at least a 3.0 GPA or equivalent. That means every A in history or B in math could help them earn a cash reward for good grades. Just one of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now in 15 minutes or less at discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply.
Imagine this, a fantastic basketball player entered in the NBA draft who says, quote, I want to be the number 1 pick really bad. Yeah, it really happened. Lonzo Ball said it. Okay, fine. You know better than that. Markelle Fultz said it. The guard out of Washington has spoken with the Celtics and has discussed working out for them. Imagine that. A star player who worked his entire life to be in the position where the team picking first in the NBA draft would want him, and he would welcome them calling his name. You know, it almost seems like that's how it should be. In other news, Ramona Shelburne reports that Lonzo Ball is set to work out June 7th for the Lakers. No shot you bit on that one, did you? With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are things Country Financial stands for. More than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. Neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of our community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. Chat with your neighbor at Country Financial. Jesse DeHaan. Call 352-3466. Talk about things that are important to you and how Country Financial can help protect them.
Baseball is back at Pia's, and Pia's is your home for the world champion Chicago Cubs. Enjoy the game while filling up with their famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger, along with great wings and so much more. Watch the Cubs all season long at Pia's Sports Bar. With live video gaming, great drinks, sports, food, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month, brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, our Law Enforcement Official of the Month from Stevie J Broadcasting is Officer Dan Ward, Senior Patrol Officer, Champaign Police. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for what you do. You're also wonderful. I just can't get over it. Why does Dan Ward love what he does?
That's a good question, and it's a complicated question. I think the simplest thing is, no matter what, you get to go out there and you either get to help people, which is great. It happens every day, at least, usually, if you try. Or, at the worst, you get to help somebody through the worst day of their life. And both those things are good, and both those things have their place, and you're ultimately serving, so.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Dan Ward, Senior Patrol Officer for the Champaign Police Department. Brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions.
Eat, shop, play, and explore. Rediscover Campus Town. Every Thursday now through August 17th during 13 Thursdays. You can find great deals every Thursday on clothing, food, and accessories at participating campus businesses. 13 Thursdays has great events that's sure to make this summer rock. Grab your friends and take over campus on June 8th for the Campus Pub Crawl. Or catch a movie under the stars on the Quad each and every Thursday night. Don't miss 13 Thursdays. Visit ChampagneCenter.com. 13 Thursdays is presented by the Champagne Center Partnership.
So I'm chatting with Dan from Champagne Surplus. You're changing how you do business in a really groundbreaking way. You're taking Price Match to a whole new level. So tell me about that.
We've had Price Match in our store for a while now, and what we found is that a lot of people don't want to actually ask for the Price Match. And what we've done is we will just automatically check the internet for you. Our associates are walking around with devices where they can scan the internet, and we'll find the lowest price that we can for you, and that's what we'll sell it to you for.
Now, what if I find a lower price online?
We're happy to honor that as well.
So if you or I find a price that's lower than the manufacturer's price, I'm going to get that price, period. If there's a sale somewhere else, there's a sale for me at Champagne Surplus.
Absolutely. And you'll find that price, you'll get that price, and you'll be able to walk out with your item that day.
So how long does it take for us to find the best price for me?
No longer than a normal shopping trip.
I'm going to get the lowest price online. You're going to find it for me instantly.
Yes.
If I find something myself that's lower than what you find, you'll give it to me.
Yes.
And best of all, I'm supporting a small business that's been in our community for 70 years.
Yes.
So at Champagne Surplus, any sale is their sale. Check it out today in downtown Champaign.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 530 Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote and get 25% off their mosquito program. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. This is from Jim Benson. He is reporting that Leroy native Matt Chastain will transfer from Loyola to Illinois State. He will sit out this year and have 3 years of eligibility left. The Illini golf team fell in the semifinals to Oklahoma yesterday evening. The Illini took losses from Liparelli, Tadiato, and Fiegels. The Illini finished ranked 8th in the country according to NGCAA rankings. Illini basketball is hosting 6'9" big man Greg Eboigboden from Detroit Jesuit on a visit. Eboy Bowden was a UIC commit. He had offers from DePaul, Detroit, and Loyola. Breaking news, the Illini football team has a game time, and this one is set for October 28th game in Memorial Stadium against Wisconsin. I think that game time will be at 11 a.m. This is the third game time that is announced. The other two are as follows. October 7th at Iowa is at 11 a.m., and the October 21st at Minnesota is at 3:30 or 4. 6 straight losses for the Cubs is a thing now. The Cubs fell to the San Diego Padres last night 6-2. Kyle Schwarber and Wilson Contreras both brought in runs for Chicago. The Cubs, they got swept by the Padres today. They lost 2-1. Yeah. Just a whole lot of
okay?
sadness. Yeah. I wrote
a crying emoji.
I wrote this update, and then it's a whole bunch of 5 straight losses, and now it's 6 straight losses and 2 sweeps, and it's brutal.
It's a whole lot of Lon smiling.
That was a fun run you guys had.
Yeah. we'll always have last year.
You want to start selling off?
Hey, the Dodgers, they beat the Cardinals. Let's change the subject.
Oh,
and
yeah. Oh, by the way.
White Sox lost as well.
Oh,
That's
boy.
true, but we're trying to lose. I mean, the White Sox are only like 1 or 2 games worse than the Cubs right now.
It's funnier when the White Sox win. Like, we sit there and go, what the heck's wrong with the White Sox?
That's cute.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? All right, listen, every year millions of consumers fall victim to cybercrime. According to Javelin Strategy and Research, $16 billion stolen from 15.4 million U.S. consumers in 2016. So what we're doing in June, it's the Internet Safety Month, and Busey is highlighting some tips to help consumers protect themselves from online fraud. One of them is secure your internet connection with a password. Having an unsecured wireless network can allow anyone within range to access your network or use your internet connection. How about shop safely? Ensure the web address begins with HTTPS and check for the lock padlock symbol on the address bar. And you can also read the site's privacy policies. Yes, people my age and older, we have to pay attention to this stuff with regards to the internet. With constant changes in technology, there's always a new way for risk. The best way to protect yourself is to be proactive. Busey can help you with that. Visit them at Busey.com. Member FDIC. Cletus.
The number one question we've gotten for the last couple weeks. Mark Allstork signs.
Yep.
Mark Smith signs. It's always, what's next? Big man. Got to get a big man.
Oh, yes, you do.
Who's the big man? Well, we find out. They got one on campus today. Derek Piper reported the news first. Greg Eboy Bowden.
Their name is never Bill Hull. You know? I mean, Mark Smith. Well, Mark Smith was good. That's true.
Mark Allstork.
No, I mean the big men.
Yeah,
it seems like
true.
the big men are all like names I've never heard.
Yeah, so Greg Eboy Bowden, former UIC signee, got out of his national letter of intent. Of course, Chin Coleman recruited him to UIC. Let's find out more with Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com. Who is Greg Eboy Bowden, Derek?
Go.
And I'm into solving mysteries, guys. This has been the one that we've all been wondering about, sitting there with 9 scholarship players. You need a big guy. And I'm just going to call him Greg, if that's all right with you guys.
Good enough.
Leave the pronunciations to Jeremy. But about 6'8 and a half, 6'9". He's got a long wingspan, averaged about 14 and 14 last year in high school in Detroit. Came over from Nigeria, didn't play his freshman year. He's only been playing competitive basketball for about 3 years. So, but you can see his athleticism and his mobility. He's got really good feet, being a soccer player. I talked to his high school coach a little bit a couple hours ago. He said he's a really good rebounder, good defender, can guard the ball screen really well, rim runner, guy that can get up and down the floor, and a little raw offensively. He still has a jump shot in the mid-range that's developing a little bit. Needs to get better there, I think. But over time, in terms of being a 4-year player, you can see the upside. And Chin Coleman did a really good job recruiting him, identifying him for UIC. He requested his release in April. There's still some things to work out there. I don't think UIC ever announced him as being someone that got a full release. I don't think he has a full release. I think that there's some other schools involved, and that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think UIC will have a little bit of a say in terms of where they're going to let him go, if they're going to fully release him to be eligible to play next year.
Yeah, and I have a question about that with Jalen Coleman-Lands coming up, because Illinois has not announced Jalen Coleman-Lands is living quite yet. But Eboy Bowden, why does this match up with what Illinois wants? You know, a lot of Illini fans, you see tape of him, and he looks like a project. Looks like a kid that probably shouldn't make an impact next year, but might have to for this team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think that first and foremost, he fits the system prototype. Maybe not a true center in terms of being a 6'11" big dude, but a guy that has some length, has some mobility, playing an up-tempo system, is a good rebounder, is a good defender. Those are things that Illinois doesn't really have a lot of in their front court. They don't really have a lot of bodies in their front court either. And just being a guy that's available this late, that's kind of benefited some other people, out there on the market, where you have some high major teams with some needs this late in the game, and Illinois is definitely one of them. And they need someone that can come in and maybe play, whether it be 10 minutes a game, to spell Michael Finke or LaRon Black at the 5. Maybe he can give you that. I think you're hoping so, unless some fifth-year guy pops up late. But we're talking, we're one day away from June, and these guys are going to report on campus here in about 2 weeks. So time is running thin, and this guy this late, I think as a 4-year guy makes sense. Maybe a guy you roll the dice on, and you can see the upside, like you said, when you watch the film.
The word project, I don't think it was around, but we didn't use it back in my day. I think I would have been a project. There's no doubt about it. Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer. Listen, it is a kind of a reach. Obviously, they're at this spot, and they're trying to not only provide some depth, but some size for this team. Who would be next? It seems like this kid kind of came out of nowhere with regards to, Illini fans not knowing much about him. I assume there's a couple of others out there that possibly could be under the radar that Brad Underwood and this coaching staff is looking at.
Yeah, that's a great question. You let me know when you have the answers. I'm not sure. I know that they would like to go into the 2018 class with at least 3 spots, which if you did sign this guy, being a 4-year guy, would leave you with 3. If a 5th year did pop up, I'm not sure where it's going to come from. I think that'd be something they'd look into. If Iggy from Canada decided that he was interested in reclassing back to 2017, which I don't think is completely out of the question just yet, I think that'll be something that they'll try to work out. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if they go into the season with multiple spots open, at least one. Like I said, it really all depends on grad transfers and guys being able to be just one year options, because they do want to have flexibility in 2018, going after Io, going after a wing and Taylor Horton-Tucker, Tim Finke, and then trying to get another big guy. So I'm not sure who the next guy would be. I know this guy's been kind of a mystery the last couple of weeks, but we may find out here pretty soon if he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Derek and I were talking. We both heard foreign, big guy. Illinois feels good about it. That's all. That's all we heard. Soccer. They've been really quiet about it, and I get it because there's so few guys out there. But to get him on campus, that's obviously a very good sign. So, say they get a Boyd Bowden, and they're able to bring him into this class, and that's their 10 for next year. They don't add anyone else. What are your expectations for that team, Derek?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, it's going to be a team that's relying on a lot of new guys, a lot of youth. Hopefully, Mark Allstar can come in and provide some experience, obviously, which he has, not the high major level. And he's not necessarily going to be a leader. He's going to be a shot maker. It's going to depend on what Mark Smith can give you early on, what Trent can give you early on. I expect some up and downs, some bumps in the road with guys like that, and then being thin in the front court. Michael Finke and LaRon, and then Boyd Bowden down there. If that is your rotation down there, I know Kipper can play the 4, and this may not be a traditional 4-man in this system when they want to spread it out almost 4 out. So, and then you're learning a new system, a new coaching staff. So, I expect Brad Underwood's going to get it done. I think over the long haul. In terms of year one, I expect them maybe even be better than last year. Is that going to be good enough to make the tournament? I don't know if they have those horses. We'll have to see. Really depends on, like I said, how those young guys are able to step up. Can LaRon make the strides? Can Finke get better defensively and be consistent? Can Tijon make that step from year 1 to year 2? He may be your leader out there, and then Kipper Nichols is going to have to, provide some upside as well. So the Big Ten in the middle of the pack, I think it's wide open because of some of these losses at some other programs, and Wisconsin's supposed to take a step back. Purdue. Potentially with Swan again. Michigan's going to hurt losing DJ Wilson. So I think there's some potential for movement. We said the same thing last year, though, with last year's team. So we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting.
It's funny, Derek, when you think about next year, there are so many questions, but you also have the excitement of a Trent Frazier coming in and a Mark Smith coming in and some of these, and of course playing under a Brad Underwood style to see how he coaches.
It's a lot easier to be excited when there's newness.
That's exactly
a new
right.
Coach,
so
new players.
In a weird way, I don't know how in the world I'm supposed to think about next season, and there will be so many questions for us to answer and ask here on this show. But Derek, the excitement level for me as an Illini fan is I think higher than it has been in a couple of years.
I think it should be, for sure. I mean, you look at what Underwood did in 1 year at Oklahoma State. Obviously, he had Juwan Evans and had some other good pieces to work with. But just knowing that you have a high-caliber coach, a guy that's able to develop talent, a guy that knows the game at a really high level, especially offensively, and knowing that it's bigger than just 1 year. Knowing that Mark Smith and Trent Frazier are guys, and if you get DeMonte Williams out on the court as well, that can develop in this system, you'll watch them grow. They'll have the ability to – obviously going to make some mistakes, but you're going to see them by the time, from the start of the season to the end. I think you'll see some major strides in terms of where they'll go upside-wise, when they get to year 3, year 4. And then, knowing that you're bringing a lot of those guys back, save for Mark Allstork, but I think you should be excited. And like you said, newness in that building, I think people will obviously support the guys, support the team, and know that hopefully some big things are ahead for them sooner rather than later.
Derek, we did figure out who's coming back, who's leaving the Big Ten. Caleb Swanigan, DJ Wilson, both leaving. Melo Trimble leaving as well. Mo Wagner coming back. A couple guys that are big coming back. But what do you after Michigan State? I mean, who you buying? Who you buying as a team that can really give the Spartans a run?
I don't know if anybody's really going to give them a big time run. Especially now that, some of those guys got a year of experience under their belt. Cassius has one. I mean, Miles Bridges is going to be ridiculous. And then Jaren Jackson to throw in at the 4 to go with Nick Ward and Josh Langford. I don't know if anybody can. Obviously, you expect Wisconsin's going to be solid somehow, some way. They'll find a way to get it done with Ethan Happ. And Maryland's still going to have some guys. And Minnesota is one I think that will be up towards the top. Knowing that the only guy they lost was Akeem Springs, and I like what they have. But I don't know if anyone's really going to give them a big-time run. Michigan, I like some of their pieces in terms of still having Wagner and Charles Matthews coming off the transfer and Jordan Poole being a freshman. But I don't know what to really expect out of Xavier Simpson yet at the point guard position. So I think a lot of those other teams have big question marks, big holes to fill where Michigan State, they kind of stack up their top 6. I'm not sure who's beating that.
Derek, you mentioned to Boyd Bowden the release from UIC. We haven't heard Illinois announce Jalen Coleman-Land's release quite yet. And we asked Josh Whitman on Friday what he thinks about, blocking transfers or restricting transfers to certain schools. And, he didn't really give a clear answer on it. And we haven't heard from Illinois yet, so what do you think? Is Illinois going to block him from certain schools?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure because, when you had DJ Williams transferring, the school put out a press release and everything, and he didn't really have any restrictions, although it's kind of assumed that you're not going to allow him to transfer within the conference. But with JCL, I think that is a question mark that gets raised. I know that there is. I know Xavier is a team that's interested in JCL, and they have gotten a release from Illinois. Is there a school out there, DePaul, that may or may not have tried to get one? I'm not sure if they have one yet. That may be one. But that is a question mark that gets raised, and you don't see the school announce it and put out the press release. Maybe there is a restriction on it. I'm not really sure. Haven't heard yet. Heard a couple of schools that would be involved, maybe Xavier, Butler, Notre Dame, and then, of course, DePaul would be that other one. And there is a question whether they would let them. They're on the schedule next year. Mm-hmm. Shane Hireman kind of worked that one before he was hired. That is within the rules as long as you're not officially an assistant coach. But I know that Illinois personally, coaching staff, would like to do everything they can to make sure he doesn't go to DePaul if they can make that happen.
Derek Piper, last one. McIntosh from Illinois State. Not now out of the draft, essentially, and kind of a free agent, if you will, college-wise. Any chance for Illinois on that? Any interest?
Yeah, I think they'll work that one a little bit if they can. You saw that he visited Oregon, and Oregon's definitely in the market for a wing to come in and make an impact. next year. They've been in the mix with Brian Bowen, and now Texas is emerging as well, and DePaul's still in the mix for that one. So Wisconsin is one that I continue to hear with McIntosh. I'd heard it with Minnesota as well, but it's been said that Illinois, obviously with Spots and him being a one-year guy, there's not a whole lot of risk in terms of that or worrying about 2018. And I think you can offer him some playing time, being a defender and a guy that can fit into that four role, being 6'7". I think they will be in the mix. I think it'll be tough, though. I don't see them as maybe one of the favorites.
Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com. Follow him on Twitter at DPiperScout. No days off, Derek. We appreciate it.
Anytime, guys.
I follow Derek Piper on Twitter.
Yeah. Always some kind of basketball recruiting news, isn't there?
It's amazing. It really is amazing. And what's amazing is you look at this team next year, and I'm dead serious with this. I'm excited about this team. It's not that I didn't like Malcolm. It's not that I didn't like Tracy. It's not that I didn't like some of these guys. It's just it was the same team essentially for a couple of years.
It was the same coach.
And now all of a sudden you've got a new coach who you have confidence in, as you always do when you bring in a new one.
There's excitement. What are the expectations? Are they higher than last year?
For me, no.
I think they're similar, if not even a tad lower.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's a bunch of freshmen.
And I think what would be the difference is if this team doesn't excel or get it done, there are plenty of built-in excuses to kind of...
That aren't his fault.
Right. To say, listen, I mean, do you really think he was going to be able to do that? I think if Brad Underwood is able to get this team into an NCAA tournament next year, I am going to be one of the most excited Illini basketball fans you can find because I will then project the future to say, this is ridiculous.
And you lose one senior from it.
Right.
Unlike John Gross's first year, where he lost 3 key seniors.
And you could bring some impact guys in an 18 as well.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting. It's honestly, it will be fun to get ready for Illinois basketball this year. I can't wait to do it.
It is time. Can you get some game show music here?
Wait. Oh, I know where we're going.
It's time for our game day spirit.
I know where we're going.
Wheel of Games.
You can win a fidget.
No, we're giving away, I just tweeted out a little while ago, we're giving away a great blanket, Illini baseball blanket.
Cool.
From Game Day Spirit. Okay. You can check it out. It's kind of got a shield with a couple bats in it.
Yeah,
it's a really
holding
cool
it up
logo.
for me in there.
Yeah.
He's modeling it.
You got on like a Snuggie or something?
That's what you need to do, Harry. You can be a Price is Right model, dude.
Oh, you can do that. You can pull that off.
Yeah, do they have
Yes, they got dudes
male
now.
dudes now?
Yeah.
All right.
Good-looking dudes.
Man, I haven't seen Price is Right.
Drew Carey's
that's
pretty
a
good
whole
at
other
it.
subject. But yeah. I don't know. It's on at what, 10?
Yes. I had it on. I flipped it on randomly the other day.
I should DVR an entire day's worth of TV just to see what I'm missing.
Yeah. A couple Steve Wilkos shows.
Time for the Showcase Showdown.
Maury doing his thing.
Oh, is he still working?
Yeah, I mean, there's always paternity tests, right?
Holy smoke! How old is Maury Povich?
Consistently, people are going to need paternity tests.
Is he still married to the one lady?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good. Good for them.
That's all he does anymore is paternity tests. But hey, it rates.
I want to know and then we'll get to Game Day Spirit.
Not the father,
Austin. I want to know how much career earnings Maury Povich is. I bet I will be shocked by Maury Povich's career earnings.
I mean, do you think right now he's worth $20 million?
That a current affair back in the day? The problem was he was big back when
this has just turned into
when
Maury
salaries weren't that big. No, he's probably more around.
Boom, a current affair.
I don't know how much like these shows pay, man.
All right, so I got a trivia question.
I'll say $6 million for Maury.
We've been talking a lot of Illini golf, and I was looking some stats up earlier, looking at the past national champions, and I found this stat unbelievable. So the first one to get this, to text in to 217-359-2255. Again, text 217-359-2255.
I got an update on Maury.
Okay, we'll do that after I ask the question, okay?
John Daly.
No, 359-2255. First one to get this will win that great Illini baseball blanket from Game Day Spirit. This major champion won 3 NCAA individual championships during his college career. This major champion won 3 NCAA individual championships during his college career. First one to text in the correct answer to 359-2255 will win that great Illini baseball blanket. You said, holy cow, to Maury Povich.
I did.
Can you hold that through the break.
Yes, because I think this is a tease that you want to know. By the way, I guessed this earlier and I was wrong. So I'm anxious to hear who this is. This
We got
would
a
be
couple of
pretty cool.
teases to pay off.
We are going to end today's show talking about Maury Povich. You don't get that anywhere else. It's the Tay and J Show.
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Securities advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's a familiar place you know. It's a relationship to hold on to. It's a place for families, a part of growing up, and a key to staying healthy. There are warm, friendly faces, people you trust because you know you're in good hands, because you know there's complete passion, professionalism, and heart. If it's your first time or another visit, you get the care you deserve at Illini Smiles Dental Care. Dr. Shu, Dr. Fott, and Dr. Lou and their team are ready to see you now. Illini Smiles Dental Care, 303 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Book your visit online today at IlliniSmilesDentalCare.com. That's IlliniSmilesDentalCare.com. Illini Smiles Dental Care. We love to see you smile.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me. It's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead. Do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $4,000 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
Get new carpet for less during the National Flooring Extravaganza, going on now at Flooring Surfaces in Champaign. Soft and luxurious carpets are on sale with a free upgrade to Stainmaster Plus Deluxe Carpet Cushion. In fact, get a free padding upgrade with every style made from premium Infinity Nylon, Anso Nylon, or Stainmaster Nylon. And Flooring Surfaces can measure, design, and offer professional installation service for any size project. So get your new carpet now at Flooring Surfaces during the National Flooring Extravaganza, 401 East Mercury Drive in Champaign.
Willow Pond Golf Course in Rantoul is the most improved in Central Illinois. They had a great preseason, and all this month they're celebrating you with great customer appreciation rates. Play around Monday through Friday for just $25, and seniors get a low rate of just $20. Golf Saturday and Sunday for just $30, and all packages include a cart. Enjoy their full-service bar and grill, the 19th hole, serving up great food and drinks, plus live video gaming and the full swing simulator. Schedule a tee time, 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com. Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Okay. I am polling rank.
Yeah.
Not over you. We rank the same. But is there somebody like an intern that can get rid of the Taylor Swift song? I think it's run its course. Is that fair?
Hey, you want to come in a little early and get rid of these music?
No, I want one of these 8 people in here.
That's true.
What else is, did we get rid of it?
What are you
Hold
looking
on,
for?
I know this is intriguing.
Lon wanting better buffer music. That's this segment on the Tay and J Show.
I can't think of the happy song. Is that gone?
That's gone.
Okay, all right.
I replaced that one for you.
Okay, I appreciate you doing
It's a nice little riff.
It is a good song. You're right. Maybe I just look at it thinking it's Taylor, but listen,
It's a change of pace. I got so much rock music on there.
No
I want
doubt.
it a little different.
Just leave it, actually. Now that you say that, I think that's
Oh,
the right way to do it.
you can change it. You go in there and change it.
The funny part is I have no idea how to do it. So
That's right.
it's going to stay there right where it's at.
All right, so my trivia question was, and Matt from Champaign got this right.
Okay.
This major champion won 3 NCAA individual championships during his college career.
I guessed Ben Crenshaw because he was a 3-time All-American, I know, in college, and a major champion. But that is not correct.
That is not correct.
Is it Phil?
It is Phil Mickelson.
Okay.
1989.
Wow. Arizona State, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
89, 90, and 92. 3
Wow.
of 4 years, Phil Mickelson won the individual championship.
Why couldn't you win at 91, Phil? What happened there?
Shot 17 under in 1992, his senior year.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
And how about a kid that could pick any school in the country? And he goes to Arizona State.
Yeah,
Well
smart
done.
man.
Well done, Phil Mickelson.
Of course, Tiger won it in 1996. Justin Leonard won it in 94.
Okay.
Looking for a couple bigger names. Luke Donald won it in 1999.
From Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, those are the main
That's
guys
cool.
that I've
That is
seen that
cool.
have won it.
All right, this is what everybody wants to know. Maury, what's his name?
Maury Povich. His career earnings, or is this what he's worth? Net worth?
Is worth.
Okay, net worth of Maury Povich. I set the over-under at $20 million.
And you're not even close. $45 million.
Oh, man!
His annual salary is $14 million.
All I know he does is go, you are the father.
$14 million. Do enough people watch
what is it
those
about
shows?
Maury Povich that we love?
I don't know.
He's a good-looking older man.
Yeah, he is. He was a great journalist early in his career.
That's what amazes me.
Yeah.
It's like he's a journalist, and then all of a sudden
he
goes,
just does this.
You are not the father.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he does.
Would you do that for $14 million?
Yes.
Exactly. That is amazing.
That would
to
make me very happy.
Yes, it would. $14 million for Maury Povich. Good for Maury.
Best daytime talk show.
I grew up with Phil Donahue back in the day. He was probably, and this was before, like I was telling the kids here, like there's just trash TV now.
Well, Springer took it to another level, and then Maury kind of followed in that. It's like, hey, I got to stick to this.
What was like Ricky Lake? Wasn't she one?
90s were great for it. You had Jenny Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this like really innocent looking blonde white woman.
Right.
It was like, and then she had like the trashiest stuff around her. Like she went from like doing like just normal daytime talk show, talking about shopping and things like that, to all of a sudden it's getting wacky and wild.
Crazy.
Steve Wilkos now.
Yep.
Sally Jesse Raphael back in the day.
Oh, that's right. You know who I do not, now I watched none of this, right? Let me start this by saying.
Montel Williams.
Montel.
Back in the 90s.
I think Ellen would be the show I would watch if I watched a show.
You know who was Ellen before Ellen? Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember she used to take those things and flip them into the crowd all the time?
And, of course, Oprah was, her deal was unbelievable. So, yeah, that's interesting. But I think if I watched daytime television now and I was watching one of these shows,
Wendy
it
Williams?
would be Ellen. Wendy Williams. I don't remember her.
Yeah, well,
I do.
Now.
I do.
Rachel Ray?
Yeah, I remember Rachel Ray.
Tyra Banks had one.
Ooh. Just for the
Regis and Kelly?
Ah, yes. What is up with that Kelly Ripa or whatever?
People must not like her.
She's ripping through co-hosts like it's going out of style.
Ooh, is it Seacrest now?
Oh, is it Ryan Seacrest?
Where does Seacrest sleep? Does anyone have physical proof that Ryan Seacrest sleeps?
That dude. I assume he's doing American Idol.
What's that net worth?
Oh, wow. We'll look that up here as we
I'll
go
thank
along.
our guests as we go on
Yeah,
here.
look
Thanks
that
to our
one up.
guest, Ryan Watt. Talk some Cubs in the 3 o'clock hour.
They got swept.
Great stuff from Mike Small, Illini golf coach, at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. And Derek Piper talked Eboik Bowden.
Yeah.
At 5:25. Get the podcast at espncu.com or find us in iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance.
Austin has 45 seconds. Oh, $350 million.
And why do you need another show?
Ryan Seacrest.
I think he's got a problem. I think he's addicted to work.
Wouldn't you just go buy an island and live on it? That's exactly what I would do.
Annual income for Ryan Seacrest of $65 million.
Unbelievable.
I remember when they started that show. Like, he was the second guy on American Idol.
Yes.
And now he's like the media.
Who was the first guy?
He quit after the first
Oh, he did? What the heck? What are you doing, dude?
It was a bad career move.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, Ryan Seacrest, good for you, dude. Good for you. $350 million. Wow. Hey, we're on late tomorrow. Cardinals, baseball, and then, of course, Cardinals-Cubs this weekend. Can't wait for that. It is the Tay and J Show.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring Surfaces, where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. For a limited time, Lands is offering special financing for 6 years or up to $1,000 trade-in allowance. Your choice, with approved credit on any qualifying train system. So call Lands at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR for details or find us online at landsinc.com. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
See Lands or visit train.com for complete program eligibility dates, details, and restrictions.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late, it's time to make a stand. Call 877-FE Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/music. That's ZipRecruiter.com/music for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/music.
Being a parent is hard. Yeah, like peeling a banana. That's really hard.
Are you a parent of littles or is your family growing soon?
Come to the Growing Families Expo, June 3rd from 9 to noon. Will there be bananas there?
No bananas, but we will have local businesses and resources there for young families.
There'll be lots of fun activities and giveaways for parents and kids.
Facebook.com/Growing Families. See you.
See you!
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.